Yeah, welcome, folks. Thank you very kindly. Let me know. I got a Trotus computer from me a few years ago. I'm going to start this over. All right. This guy we're going to cover right here is Frankie Pasqua, a wannabe would-be gangster who was not a gangster, who actually made lies up. This motherless, you get off my screen, you ditson. This guy was a real disgusting creature right here. He kind of looks like Steven Seagal and the guy from Pulp Fiction.
Kind of take it away. Give us a little bit of your background in this.
This guy was a mommy beater. He beat his mother. He used to rob his mother and extort his mother. His mother called the cops on him. His own family called the police on this guy. That tells you a lot. Woman beater. He was accused of rape in 2006. I think his Fed buddies helped him out there. Is your internet speed? My internet speed was all right. Everything's been going all right, but lately the thing's all jacked. How can you guys hear me right now? Can you hear me good? Yeah, troops, they're all wannabes. All these guys, none of these guys were made guys, especially Aledo. This guy, Gene was an associate of the Bonanos. This fat pig was a junkie liar, a junk box. This guy put more drugs. He actually, because of his heroin use and shooting up Oxycontins and pills, the state took his children away from him. What does that say about him? And his wife had a 5-year restraining order against this guy. They don't get lower than this man. You will see Aledo saying that he speaks eloquently. Then he's going to tell us how he came out of his mother's CUNT in those words. Real dirtbag right here. Amazing, but let's listen. Yeah, real loser, Angela.
I probably hit the streets about 14 years old. Doing some numbers with some Bonanno guys.
I don't believe that. At 14 years old, Bonanno guys are not trusting this fat pig junkie with nothing. He says they gave him 50 grand. Yeah, okay. They gave him 50 grand to run to people. Who's going to trust a 14-year-old junkie with 50 grand?
It's not that. Throughout my career,
his career. Do you see how they're trying to boost themselves up? He's trying to boost himself up to make he wants to be like Aledo and have a big career on YouTube and the whole nine. This fat Seagal looking Pulp Fiction freak.
4 of the 5 families: Genovese, Bonanno, Lucchese, Gambino. Gene's a dear friend of mine. We Gene's
a dear friend of his. Yeah. Gene's someone who robs old ladies' purses and breaks into elderly old ladies' house. Yeah, do me a favor. I don't really care about the likes much, but I want to get this out there, so please hit like on this one.
Dear friend in common until they had a little bit of a falling out. We met in prison. And it's like we clicked right away. He was like a little brother to me.
Yeah, Angela. He says at 14 years old, Bonanos and Gambinos were giving him 50 grand to run to people. The lies are outrageous, and the lies come from being built up by these two fucking Metzafanoiks over here, building up his self-esteem so this fat fucking greasy pig can come on here and tell his tales of wool. They don't get lower than this guy. Watch how he talks about his mother and his father. And he claims his father was a made guy or something. I hear his father was not a made guy. He might have been an associate, the dad, maybe. But this guy wasn't. This guy was known as a junkie. And the 2 guys that he put away wouldn't give him the time of day. He didn't even know these. He knew of them. He didn't, like I said, his FBI handler was John Elite's FBI handler. And we know how John Elite's FBI handler was. His name was Abernado or something like that. Gotti Jr. speaks about it in one of his Witsec Mafia videos. And I can't wait till that fucking Junior guy comes out with his Witsec Mafia to expose this little merry band of my blue fucking heaven, shooting Babanya in his arms. Fucking Scott. He didn't love his kids. You're going to see some crazy stories by this fat peg. Let's listen.
The end of my career was monopolized by the Lucchese's. They would not. They had a leash on me. They wouldn't let me go.
Correct.
I wanted to go with Ronnie. To go with Alphonse. I had quite a few offers. Tommy Fig, the other bosses again, decent time, and just got stuck with these guys. And
look,
oh my God,
there was a government-funded education grant that could deposit up to $38,000.
Get the fuck off my screen, fucking Moby.
Tried to make the best of it. Had some good times along with the bad ones, you know.
Hey, Frankie, so let me ask you a question real quick then. Were you born into this life? How'd you get involved?
Absolutely. My grandfather was under Frankie Locascio. My grandfather, Big Frank Pasqua. Gambino soldier under Frankie Lock. My father was an enforcer with the Gambinos for years.
I don't know when Witsec Mafia drops, and yeah, their families have to listen to this stuff. His whole family hates him too. The family hates this man. Family hates this man. Carmine says, according to John Panisse, this guy's dad was according to John Panisse, his whole house shook for 8 hours, okay? According to John, his whole house shook for 8 hours when God came to him and gave him the sign to become a rat stool pigeon.
Then I had my uncle, who's actually my godfather, Richard Pasqua. He, mid-'80s, he flipped over not even much time. He was on here, 10 years, 10, 12 years. He flipped on Arnold Scuteri and his cousin Fonzie,
Rats.
who were running things for John at the time. They were acting boss. And when he flipped, my father got blacklisted from the game. You know, they told him outright, "You're not getting straightened up. You can anyone else, you know, because you put work and you kill people for that."
And he keeps bragging about murders, about his father killing people and all this shit. I don't buy anything that comes out of these stool. And people have to understand, these stool pigeons are all out to make money off of people and lie and build themselves up as gangsters and mobsters.
You're not getting straightened out. Had I been in my father's shoes,
maybe it was his grandfather then. I don't know much about his other family. I just know that I've read up a lot on him in the last few days.
I would have doubled my efforts and stuck it out and gotten the bottom with my father too, you know. He had a different mindset about it and decided to basically, you know, look for a home somewhere else. And my cousin Donnie Tufaro, who's a gentleman, stand-up guy, man and a half. He was doing 30 years at the time. On the indictment, my father, my grandfather, they all went away on him. And he put my father with some Lucchese guys, Frank Altamari, Steve Craig, and so my father basically he sat back and just waited for the handouts to come instead of actively going and getting them. And that was where we butt heads a lot because I like to earn.
Yeah, he told on his dad too. And he slandered and made lies up on 2 other men who ended up in jail. Because, like I said, Elite's handler, the FBI scumbag Abernado, whatever the fuck his name is just as bad as these guys. He wants to further his career. So by furthering his career, he will tell his low-life informant secret information, anything to try to legitimize them as mob guys and shit. So these scumbag prosecutors and the rest of them can do that. They're all disgraziati, man.
Turn, I like to go out there. I wasn't afraid of jail. He had a rough bit of it. He did 9 years. He had a rough time.
Any button they would put on him would pop off his shirt. Buttons wouldn't stay on this guy's shirt. Look at the size of him. Steroids. He must have ate steroids and watched TV all day.
My mother was
Ted Otto. Yes, Angela. Thank you. That's the name. Ted Otto. Why was I calling him Abinato? I don't know why, but yeah, sounds like John Conley. Exactly. That's what these handlers do, because it brings them up in their FBI organization. It gives them more clout. It gives them his handle is the one. His handle is the one who got him the 302s. Yeah, this is just a big snuff fest. Let's watch.
wasn't very supportive. He was not going back to jail. Yeah. So he basically, we went from being Gambino royalty, because Frankie Locke was the underboss, and that was my grandfather's captain.
Did you just hear that? They went from being Gambino royalty. Who buys this shit?
The KZ second-rate citizens. You know, that's what it came down to. Right. I mean, I can't tell you, they were just dangling carrots in front of my face, left and right, putting me to work, doing anything they told me.
Maybe they put the carrots up your rear, pal, and you enjoyed it.
And there was always some, for lack of a better word, blowjob getting up while I was sitting there waiting.
He says there's always some BJ getting up before. No, man, no. Listen, you're a junkie, and we all know. Anybody who's watched mob things and shit knows mob guys stay away from junkies, because junkies are. How can you trust a junkie if they don't get their fix? They're gonna rat on you. And this guy was the king of junkies. That's why he lost his children. He lost his children because of his drug habit.
Guys, you know, work we were doing was making people captains. I was sitting around, you know, I'll say at least I ended up with a crew that had money. We had the strip clubs, you know, I ran clubs for them.
What clubs were those?
Lace, Stilettos, and VIPs. Stilettos is New York Diamond Club now. Right. And those are all under Steve. Right. Steve Sr., who trickled down to his.
Yeah, the guys he's talking about is the guys he lied about and put in jail. Those guys never even met him. That's why, look, with these informants and rats, all you got to know is 10% of the truth and the other 90% lies you put in, and you can put people in jail. You know that. Very easy. A guy can say hi to somebody one time, and then they go tell the FBI they're best buddies. The FBI is just another they're worse than any mob that ever could be, believe it or not, when it comes to this shit.
I don't know. Never was. Has been, but never was, son.
Well, you know, the problem with the mob is, and we talk about it all the time, is nepotism.
He can't even say nepotism. Nepotism. Elite has the education of a 5-year-old. Well, actually, 5-year-olds are smarter than a Leto. And real quick, I went on eBay and I found John Aleto, John A-Rat Elite, selling butcher knives on eBay right now. So, Johnny boy, were you a chef? Were you a gourmet chef also? You sell the baseball bats, you say, because of you played at Tampa, baseball in Tampa, almost went pro. I call bullshit on that. Why do you sell butcher knives?
And, you know, you got guys like yourself that will put in a lot of work, tough guy. Obviously, you're a big guy on top of that.
Look at him building him up, building the fat pig up. Give this low self-esteem, daddy and mommy issue, fat pig. Build his self-esteem up, Aleto. Just like people built your self-esteem, you fucking mental midget orangutan.
So if somebody's going to screw with you, obviously they can't do it with their hands with you. And if they went to a gun or knife, you're good with that too. So.
Oh, he's good with everything. What can't he do? Could he slay a dragon? Jesus Christ, Aleto.
That's the problem with the life. Guys would throw my name around. Not even.
That's the problem with the life. You know what I mean? Because when I kill in the streets. Jesus
Christ. You know what I'm saying? You're a captain. You're threatening people with me. At least let me know. I might run into them. You know? What do you let me know?
I want to get into, because me and Frankie met in 2008, and I just came out the box. And,
look at these two mamalukes. Look at these two fucking guys. Jean just fucking robbed some old grandmother's necklace from her fucking house. And this guy just shot a fucking half ounce of babanya in his veins.
He comes up to me. He's like, yeah. So we come up, meet me on the handball court. He's like, yeah, well, we start talking. He's like, yeah, I was in union with you guys. Just get the fuck out of here. So long story short, me and him become best friends. and we're together every day.
Best
The jail
friends.
just wanted us out of the jail. How could I say?
They definitely didn't want us
We
together.
started so much shit in the jail. They just wanted us out of the jail. So we end up cutting the guy together. We end up getting so much trouble. And I have to go into the story because I get out 2010. He comes home January 2011. So he goes, "Oh, come over to my house for dinner." So I know his father's a wise guy. I know the whole family. You know, whatever. I'm over there sitting down. So I just met.
Yeah, it's all about the kids. Yeah, right. My ass. And look at these two assholes with glasses on. This is a dark fucking place. There's no sun. Stop wearing these. They look like assholes.
The family. I'm sitting down at the table. He goes, "Yeah, meet my father. He got his nuts clipped off by my mother. The guy has no balls." I'm sitting there like this. Look, I don't know what to do with myself. His father's going, "Real funny, Frankie. That's real funny." That's how he was. You know, me and him had so much fun together. We did work together in the
You
street.
gotta explain that one.
Yeah, we literally we tried to kill a guy together in the Bronx. We're not gonna get into that because that's for the book. That's just a mockery. We're not getting that. We beat guys up together, and he's a legit tough guy. He's one of the more modern day guys that was really out there doing work. He should have been straightened out a long time ago. They were another one scared to put him.
But why wouldn't they straighten him out? Because he had nothing to do with it. They looked at him as a junkie fucking lowlife. He was looked at as a fat junkie, junk box lowlife. Nobody's going to make or do that with junkies. Nobody trusts junkies. Once again, once violence is mentioned, look at the cheesy grin on Johnny A-Light's face. Look at all this time he spent in that tanning booth, this fucking Metro.
Put him in because they don't like wild guys with a button. And that's just what it is. And
they don't like wild guys with a button blow. They just don't like us wild guys with a button. We're too wild, like 6'9".
I got to be honest with you. He is definitely one of the toughest dudes I knew for our time in jail. He was abusing gang members, taking remote controls from people. You know, the guy was just a tough dude.
Look, does he look like a rehabilitated guy to you? Does he look rehabilitated? What a fucking travesty. Good morning, Miss Can't Be Wrong, Angela, Bubblegum, Tim, Brandon, Sandra. How you doing?
Dude, and you got to hear his stories. But yeah, get into your father about it.
All right, so there's a history behind that situation. I had been home a few weeks, right? And there was this Puerto Rican kid in the Bronx who I was friends with, and he put me together with some guys he was with that had some counterfeit money. When I tell you counterfeit money, you couldn't tell.
Puerto Rican guy in the Bronx means his drug dealer. He was getting dope off him. Guy's a notorious dope fiend, drug addict, junkie.
You put it in the machine,
What's up, Mob Snob?
came out. It came back real. It had the silk strip. The $100 bills had the silk strip. You couldn't tell. Right?
Yeah, they are a bunch of clowns. They are a bunch of clowns. They make a mockery of this shit.
Took one of them, put 4 $100 bills in my pocket, and the one fake one. Marked it. Told my father, listen, pick the fake bill. There's one fake bill. There's 3 real ones, so it should be easy to find the one fake one. He picked the wrong one like 3 times. I said, look, you see how good they are. I get them for 30 cents on the dollar. 30 grand gets us 100,000. Go to Steve, get $250,000. Go buy a ton of this money. I got a couple Dominicans, Washington Heights. I'll go bang them over the head with it for dope. We'll be millionaires overnight.
Yeah, like he would ever hold on. He'd be shooting the dope, be millionaires overnight. This guy is such a bullshitter.
2 weeks, I'll make us millionaires.
2 weeks, I'll make us, 2 weeks, you'll shoot and snort all that dope, you fucking babanya junkie.
At the time, I had just come home, so I was hungry.
Yeah, Ted Otto is the Rat Squad guy. Ted Otto is his handler, was his handler. I don't know if he was Gene's handler or not, Tonto's, so I'm not going to say it. But Ted Otto was his fucking handler and his. And the Otto guy is a real disgusting creature. And if you're out there, pal, try fucking yourself.
Right? My father didn't care. He made money with the clubs. So my father says, I'll have to bring it to my guy and let him look at it. It's Steve Crea Jr. So I give him the bill. He says, I'm going to take it to him tonight. At the time, I had just gotten...
and the guys there mentioning, the Crea guys, didn't even know these guys.
A Hugh Blow, Big Bang watch. You remember that one? And I had it, and my father had the watch box with the winders. Right. So I used to leave it in his watch box. I didn't have a winder box. So he had gone out like 8 o'clock to go up to the Bronx. Like 11 o'clock, I was going to Manhattan. I went to get my watch. I picked the watch box up. Underneath the watch box was my counterfeit bill. So here we are, the wise guy holding me back, shutting doors in my face.
Yeah, they're holding him back. Maybe they did that because you were a filthy junkie, and they don't trust junkies and women beaters. And in 2006, you were accused of rape, for Christ's sakes. And like, one thing I really hate is rapists. If you can fucking force yourself on a woman, you are the lowest piece of shit. Child molesters and rapists are the bottom of the barrels, and rats too. But nothing is worse than a diddler or a rapist, man. Nothing.
Promises me I'm going to go take this $100 bill to my captain and see if we could do this deal. Forget about carrying a gun. He was scared to carry a counterfeit bill.
Right. I don't buy none of this shit. Yeah, they are. You're right. They are flooding the airwaves with lies. And so many people who don't know this fat pig, this Pulp Fiction looking pervert, don't know this shit. They're falling for this shit. They believe it. And look at him talking about Johnny's just smiling there.
They're scared to carry a counterfeit bill, won't break a window in a blackout. Right? I'm sitting here, I got to take orders from these guys.
I'm going to take orders. This guy wasn't taking orders from nobody. This guy was a fucking junkie loser.
So I told him,
bullshitter.
Hey, how'd it go with Steve? It was like 4 a.m. He's already, you know what? He looked at it. He said it was real good, but he seemed better. And, you know, he doesn't think it's a good investment right now. I snapped. You know what I mean? I've been doing time for these low lives. I never liked the guy to begin with.
Doing time for them. He was doing time because he liked junk and he liked beating women. He smacked his wife around so many times. You know how many domestic violence charges? Yeah, he is. Hey, my name's Frank. My name's Frank Autobahano. Oh my God. Woman beater. 100 domestics against this creature? These people are the lowest on earth.
You know, we didn't have a father-son relationship.
Look how he's talking about his own father and his own. Watch what he says about his mother, too. What kind of man talks like that? A fat rapist pig, alleged rapist, fat pig, wife beater. He's lost his children. The state took his kids away because he had needles and pills everywhere. I
told him, if you ever lie to me again, I'm going to leave you where I find you.
Yeah, right.
Tell me you don't want to do it. Tell me, because now, if I didn't find this bill, I would have thought that our captain said no, and I would have let.
See how our captains? You see how they watch how they word things. Our captains are this, are that. He was not. Jesus Christ. They had nothing to do with the mob. Hey, guys, thank you for sending the Cash App. I appreciate it. And the Super Chat.
Left it alone. But since I found the bill, I know you lied to me. Now I'll go to a Genovese guy and see if he'll do it with me. Right. But if
the Genovese guys won't deal with you neither, you fat junkie fucking scumbag.
Since you lying to me, I'm following the rules, and I'm not going to take it to anyone else. But thank God I caught you in the lie. Don't have to fucking do it to me again. You know? Right. At the time, remember Ronnie wanted to give me the 20 grand?
Yeah.
Ronnie had 20 grand for me. She came home from jail. Gift.
Listen to him breathing so heavy because of the opiates. And he goes, hey, Gene, you remember when Ronnie wanted to give me the 20 grand? Gene, of course. Yeah, bro. Of course. Why not, bro? Word up. G's up, O's down. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, I remember that, dog. Fucking idiot.
Not for points or nothing. He said, but, you know, your dad got straightened out now, so I need him to come with you together. For 2 weeks.
He claims his father was a made guy. Does anybody know? Because I don't know. I heard the father wasn't, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's his grandfather. He's claiming his father was straightened out. But then later in the video, he said that his father was jealous that he would get straightened out before the father, which is a total contradiction.
Pop, let's go out to Howell Beach, go have dinner with Ronnie, pick up his money he's got for me. Oh, yeah, we'll go tomorrow. 2 weeks of that. Then he tells me, no, talk to my guy. I'm not allowed to meet with him because we're at war right now.
What?
I said, okay, so tell your guy to give me the 20 fucking grand.
If there was 20 grand there, him and his father went to get it. There was no 20 grand. Him and Tonto conjured up this little fucking tale.
hands here, like I'm gonna put that on the street.
Right.
So we were arguing over the 20 grand. Then there was the 10 grand Alphonse had for me that he put a complaint in. Didn't want me doing things again.
And supposedly some guy, Alphonse, had 10 grand. I don't believe none of this shit. You can never believe a junkie liar. Never.
Right.
He was a problematic guy.
Right.
It was crazy because in our personal lives, I got along with my father really well. And there was always like a little static.
He looks like a fat Bluto from Popeye, Bluto on Popeye.
Because he was scared. So, you know.
Well, people that don't know, and I don't know if you know, the counterfeit money, which years ago I did the same thing with the guy John DeMario, was really didn't like Gotti.
Of course I did the same thing because I'm a perfect gangster. When they kill at home. When I kill in the streets. And I beat my ex-wife also.
Actually, Gotti knew him, and I met with him. I think we picked up $500,000.
Can Aleto go 10 minutes without mentioning Gotti's name?
Back in those days, we had good bills for those days. I did exactly what you
He
talking
does got a Flintstone head, Robbie. Good call, Robbie. Earl says, I heard the father was through Panisi. Well, maybe the father was. I don't really know much about the dad. I thought the grandpa was, but I know this fat pig wasn't. And this fat, repulsive pig was shunned by people. People stayed away from him like the plague.
talking about.
Yeah.
We met some drug dealers,
Pretty much.
Colombians, and I did a couple of buys with them. That's how I brought it on.
Notice when they tell their stories, they all nod their head and like, yeah, it's true. It's true.
Will you explain how the counterfeit thing works for people that don't know?
Well, just what he said. You'll buy it for.
Let him answer, you fucking schmuck. Felix asked him, the fat fucking repulsive Pulp Fiction looking guy. Not you, Johnny Wax's legs. Wax on, wax off.
You know, at the time when we did it, you're going back in the 80s. I think we got it for about 18 cents on the dollar.
Jesus.
So he's a modern day, at this point, doing the same thing at 30 cents a dollar.
2005.
So you're making big money.
What's up, Mikey Ritz? What's up, Tim, Ray, Beantown?
2005. So you're
Well, that was
flipping that money.
2011 as well.
So we were doing exactly what he was saying. We went and
That's exactly what he was saying, because I'll co-sign anything. I'm trying to get more guy in my mind.
I met some Colombians through somebody, and we did a buy. And I mixed in a couple
I don't even believe this Colombian story from Aleto. Not at all.
bucks
Yeah,
of real money, and I had
Of
hundreds,
course.
and they weren't as good as what he's
Did you see? Of course.
talking about when we got it. But I moved them, and we also moved them back in those days.
Did
in
they pass them
stadiums.
also?
You put them in the
Did they
dryer, you put them in the
Yeah,
dryer,
yeah,
but open
yeah,
chips,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Someone
Look at this. Little giddy schoolgirls. This is a big snuff fucking film fest. That's all this is. And you'll watch Felix in a little bit. It's like, remember, we're doing this all for the kids. This isn't for the kids. Felix might think it's for the kids because Johnny Aleto, a liar, a rat, tells him that. But this is for Johnny Aleto and his friends to boast and have a big old fucking snuff fest. That's all it is. And to grift and make money off people.
I just hit them with
Someone
it all
passed the
down.
marker now, right?
Yeah,
Passed
yeah.
the marker.
This passed the
Yeah,
machine.
Wow, yeah.
So
These were good
the
bills.
problem why his father was probably uptight about doing it is that people don't know it's a bigger and a harder charge than drug dealing, than heroin or coke, because you're fucking with the
Listen to the heavy breathing coming from Fat Flintstone over here. Fat Flintstone's heavy breathing.
currency of the United States, Secret
gets
Service.
involved. It's not a
And-
Fed case, it's
and-
a FBI.
Yeah, and actually, when I was moving that money, I went to prison on something else, and I gave it
He
to
with this guy. Oh, he's full of tales. Dr. Seuss over here is full of fables and fairy tales.
my ex-wife to give to a guy who ended up using the money, and I don't know, somehow it went back to my ex-wife. And she went to the bank with one of Gotti's guys, actually gave her back counterfeit money.
Once again, cannot go 5 minutes without dropping the Gotti name.
I had a huge pocket company, and she went put it in a bank. So they went to go lock her up, and she said, I got it from my husband. So at the time it was my first wife, so I guess she didn't care too much.
Well, why should she care about you? You beat her. You beat your wife. You beat your ex-wife. Why should she care about you, Leto? You fucking filthy, disgraziad, fucking.
But anyway, when it came to see me, there was no way they could prove anything. Mm-hmm. So, the thing is, it's a serious charge because you got, like he said,
it brings it brings 3 different agencies. You got the feds, and then the drugs bring the DEA, and then you got the Secret Service. 3 agencies come down on you.
Look at this Pillsbury stool pigeon right here. Pillsbury stool pigeon.
But
if you're street guys,
if you do it right,
do everything.
That's what we do for a living, right? We go to jail. We don't. The time we're
listen to this. This is what we do for a living. We go to jail. We go to jail. Oh my God! You don't go to jail. You tell on people. You actually make lies up. It's not like he even told on anybody. He made fictitious stories up, lies, and got 2 innocent guys thrown in the can.
At home is just setting up things for the future.
Right. Were you ever scared? So you said you were never scared to go to jail?
No.
Well, he's 300 pounds. Look at him.
I'll be honest.
Look at that. Aledo has to feed the fat guy's ego. Fat Seagal, fat Pulp Fiction, sweaty guy. He's got to feed the ego. Then look at eyebrows. Look at Gene's feminine, carefully waxed eyebrows. Holy shit. Gene, can you let your eyebrows go out naturally? I want to see those caterpillars on your face, Tonto.
I had a good time.
Listen, I'm not bullcrapping you. Listen, we were in jail. He took the remote from a group and put it in his pocket and said, we're watching NASCAR. The guy goes,
wait a minute. He took a remote and put it down his pants and wanted them to go get it? That sounds a little fruity there, Genie boy.
No, because there was a white guy that tried to abuse the guy. I didn't like that.
He put it in his pocket, goes, no, we're not watching.
I don't like bullies. I can't stand bullies.
Did you just hear what he said? He can't stand bullies. Well, what do you call somebody who abuses their mother, who beats women, who was accused of rape in 2006? What do you call that? A bully. Jesus Christ.
He goes, come get the remote. And nobody would come get the remote. And he sat in front of the TV just watching NASCAR. He didn't like that.
Well, maybe they weren't Fanoiks, Gene. Maybe they didn't want to put their hands down his pants.
NASCAR.
I didn't like that.
Just to make a point. And that's how he was. That's why I give him credit.
But when you say it was actually better, you liked it. Like, what about?
I had more fun than at home sometimes. If we had
what kind of guy with children says I had more fun in prison when your kids are not with you? This fat pig is a repulsive human being.
I was there. Like when I got to the maxes, I qualified for trailer visits, the FRP program. If I could have stayed out of the box for 15 minutes, I would have been fine in jail. I would have copped out to natural life.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Did you hear this guy? I would have copped out to natural life. You ratted on your fucking father, and you fucking made lies up. I got 2 innocent guys. You made lies up with help from Ted Otto. You fucking filthy handler, a fed fucking creep.
If I had my trailer visits, never bothered me. I would have cleared other people's bodies. I would have took them and just got out of it.
Do you hear this guy?
But I didn't have a crew, first of all. Every time.
Look at the boasting of these 3. When you put these 3 kind of liars and bullshitters together, it's disgusting.
I went to jail. They forgot every obligation that they had to me.
What obligation did they have to you? You weren't part of a crew. You were a fat junkie, dude. Just a fat junkie. That's all you were. You lost your kids because of it. You beat your wife because of it. Your wife wanted nothing to do with you. Had restraining order you for 5 years, you pig. Your wife's family looks at you like the plague. This fat fucking clown.
And obviously it was hard on my children, which was important to me to be with them.
Yeah, it was important for him to be with us. She just told you the best time was in jail. Important to be with his children? Really? That's why you had needles all around your house and drugs while your kids got put to the state. 7 months in state care because of this fat pig.
But as far as being in prison, it never bothered me. Like, I was from the school. I learned from an old time wise guy.
Bullshit.
You do the crime. You take the best deal you could get. You go to jail. and go.
Yeah, what old wise? This guy's so full of shit. He was taught by an old wise guy. So, Carly C, can we talk about other rats? This is other rats right here. This fat, repulsive pig who was accused of rape, who beat women, beat his fucking wife, lost his kids, lied and sent 2 innocent men to the can, ratted on his own father. You don't get lower than this, pal. What rats would you like me to make fun of?
You find them, come home. You don't sit there and play games and try to beat the case. And well, it's like these guys used to have me pressing witnesses on a weekly basis.
Look at these lies. Look how he's trying to make himself out to be Al Capone. Instead of Al Capone, Fat Capone he's trying to be.
Yeah, so I mean, they used to have me pressing witnesses. They were all so scared of going to jail. They didn't mind me going to jail, pressing their witnesses, but they wouldn't go do 15 minutes. These guys are crying in the bullpens.
And now that you're home, is there like, how do you feel about, or is there a fear of going back? Or,
No, well, now
Listen
here's
to
the
this.
difference between myself and a lot of the people I know. A lot of them are just ignorant. I'm not saying they're stupid. They're ignorant. They have no education.
They're ignorant. They have no education. Listen to the way this fat pig talks.
They have no way to support themselves in the world. I always made more money. My captain pushed a broom for a living. I made more money than all of them.
He didn't have a captain, folks. This guy was not. He was not in no cruise. He wasn't a maid guy. He wasn't even an associate. He was looked upon as a fucking junkie and a pariah.
I cared about that. I went to jail.
He's full of shit.
This insane system keeps pumping out
Guys like this
giant
are really disgusting.
14,000.
Get the fuck off my screen.
To jail out of loyalty to an ideal system that meant something to me.
Yeah, a loyalty to an ideal, something that meant something. You were never a part of no family or nothing like that.
So I would do things based on this belief system.
Really? Like shoot dope? What? Shoot babanya in your fucking arm? What belief system is that? What does that have to do with old sky mobsters?
Now that I don't have that belief system and this loyalty to them, there's nothing for me to go to jail for anymore.
What about heroin? What about heroin, Chubby? Oh, Chubby loves his heroin. That's why he's breathing like a fucking horse.
There's no reason. No one's telling me what to do. No one's saying, oh, we need this done.
He sort of looks like a big fucking walrus. And like I said, he's telling all these guys want him to do this and that. They wouldn't trust him. He was a known fucking junkie who robbed his mother and abused his own mother.
And who can we depend on to do this? It doesn't matter to me anymore. So I'll never go back to jail. Like I went to jail because I was a gangster 24/7.
Correct yourself there, Mr. Porky Piggy. You were a 24/7 junkie. You were 24/7 junkie.
That's what I did. We didn't have jobs.
I want to tell you something. You know, he got cut in jail because he stood up for somebody and he snuck him because they couldn't go face to face with him.
Jesus,
and you know, he
Gene.
stood up for a guy. And
Gene with the feminine eyebrows. Tante with the feminine eyebrows over here keeps having to build this Porky Pig looking fucking character up. Fat Steven Seagal character right up.
Well, the guy was a rat. We just didn't know it. We'll get into that story quick. Anyway, so he's standing up for a guy. He ends up in a max security prison, this guy. And he ends up standing up for a guy, and he's telling him, listen, you know, my uncle's not a rat. And they're like, yes, he is. He stuck out from long story short. They
Sent me the fake paperwork.
Yeah.
Patty sent me the fake paperwork. Right. I showed the fake paperwork around. Yeah. A couple people bought it.
Yeah.
Patty who? Patty Duke, for Christ's sakes? This guy is so full of shit. Patty Duke. Patty likes to rock and roll. The Twinkies make him lose control. What a disgusting rat pair. But they're junkies.
So he was getting left and right drama over people helping. He attacked another person for me in Clinton. He went to the box again for me. I can't tell you again.
Why was he protecting you, Gene? Were you his prag, Tonto? Did he put the feather in your keister?
Boxing Chris Cagnata. So like I said, constantly, you know, he was always same thing, just doing everybody's dirty work.
Building him up. Listen to Gene. Build him up to give Porky Pig the self-confidence to embellish and lie of what a gangster he was.
And getting nothing out of it, you know? So this is what's going on. They don't want to do nothing. They just want to send you to do something.
Well, Gene, you know how the mafia works, right? It's amazing when they take this Johnny A-Light route. Like, obviously, you're a soldier or you're an associate, Gene, right? Well, you weren't a made guy, but you were an associate. So, obviously, their captains and shit tell you to go do things. But they ain't supposed to do shit, pal. They ain't supposed to do shit. Fucking idiot.
Do it themselves.
I made more money with the Bananos than I did with the Lucchese's. The Lucchese's were holding me back numerous times.
They were holding him back, what, from the fucking piece of cake on the floor? You tub of shit, holding you back from the buffet table? Or holding you back from slapping a few women? What is it?
My old man was so terrified that I was going to get straightened out before him.
Did you hear that? His old man was so terrified he was going to get straightened out before him. He just told us before that his father was straightened out. So which is it? I was with a guy who
ended up being a captain. I was with him from when I was 16 years old. I was running a nightclub for him. I caught a little bullshit pinch. The guy didn't have my bail there in time. So I went to Brooklyn House Detention, got bailed out from there. My father made a big beef out of it. He knew I was getting straightened out with those guys. He knew he was 20 years from me. He would have been sick to his stomach if I got it before him. Listen, you know what I call what they did for my father? What they do for a lot of guys. I call it the Lifetime Achievement Award. You spend 20, 30 years giving hand jobs, laughing at
And now, is this Elite said he was a very eloquent and intelligent speaker. Listen to the way he talks. He talks like a Carvone, like a pure perverted Carvone. And, of course, he was accused of rape, of course. My opinion is he definitely did it. He looks like that type that he definitely beats women. That's a fact. His wife had restraining orders on him for 5 fucking years.
They jokes that aren't funny. Not squashing a grape. And then eventually when you're 60 years old and you're old and gray, they'll straighten you out.
Look how he's bashing his own dad.
I bother taking a button when the only reason to take the button is to make money with it, to get interest rates that are better, get half-point interest rate. It's the only reason to take a button. Why the hell would you take it when you're 65 years old, retired? That doesn't make any sense. And another thing they do, they shelf guys. If I would have had another year
Watch this. Listen to this.
on the street before I got pinched and got straightened out, it was cool. And they ever shelved me, I would have been insulted if they didn't kill me. And I would have started dropping people.
So he said if his bosses shelved him, he would have started killing everybody. Once again, Porky Pig, Fatty Waddy over here is just gonna boast up and act real tough and cool. He's trying to oppress Aletto over here because we know how Johnny A likes getting impressed.
I'm not gonna sit here. Oh, you're putting me on the shelf. You guys, you asked me to kill for you. I do it. And now you're putting me on the shelf? I'm putting you on the shelf.
Yeah, okay. Listen to this guy, the ego on this fat junkie. He must have shot 3 or 4 bags of dope before he went on this fucking podcast, without a doubt.
And these guys get shelved, and they take it.
They take it.
Got underbosses getting shelved. They take it.
Look, they're looking at it. They take it, John. They take it. Like you took it from the Metzafanoik Leatherface. Like these guys supposed to have been around in their mind, wise guys and all this shit. They don't even know how the world works. Like, well, we're gonna go kill everybody if they shelve me. Look at him with his mouth open like that. Look at this fat repulsive pig with that tight shirt on.
I would split people's faces.
That's the problem.
Look at, did you hear him? I would split people's faces open. Yeah, the Flintstone family, Gene Fruity Pebbles. Robbie's a nut.
You see what you're saying? But
listen,
I said this recently on.
I said this recently on Fair City when 1960s was going around. I was running around with the Bosons.
When I was talking about Michael Francis, or I'm talking about Gotti Jr., or I'm talking about...
Once again, can't go 15 minutes without dropping the Gotti name.
These guys that were born into nepotism, they're not really street guys. They're not tough
Mobsters,
guys.
not gangsters.
Yeah,
Big difference between
yeah,
mobster and a gangster.
Yeah. So, these guys aren't capable. And when they do this, they're weakening the fucking gene pool.
They're weakening the gene. Just listen to these psychopaths talk. These habitual liars. They're just fucking full of shit.
100%.
And there's no respect.
100%.
So when, guys aren't going to respect. You run into him. He is what he is, right? He talks straightforward. There's no around the door. He's going to come at you straightforward. And those guys are the guys I respected my whole life. I can't stand these guys that they got a sharp tongue and they play that Machiavelli shit. They talk on the back door. They smile at your face, and they ain't about nothing.
Johnny, I heard stories about you putting hands on wise guys.
Johnny, I heard stories about you putting hands on wise guys. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you watched his fucking podcast, so he briefed you in the other room. You've all got into a My Blue Heaven huddle. All right, on 3, you're going to say I slapped made guys. Okay, hike. Oh, my God, these people.
Yeah, I put hands on wise guys like they were civilians. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times, I didn't know he was a wise guy. How was I supposed to know? What do you mean you don't know? Everyone knows you. I didn't know. I'll ask you for forgiveness. I'm not asking you for permission.
So he's saying he beat up made guys constantly. That's what fucking Porky Pig is saying. Fat Steven Seagal, Pulp Fiction looking guy saying he beat up wise guys 24/7. And they were too scared of him because he's so tough.
I'm not going to go to you and say, hey, listen, I don't like this guy. I want to go throw him a beating. I'm never going to say yes. Once the beating's thrown already or the guy's shot up, it makes more sense to side with me because you know I'll do it again.
What the fuck?
Why side with him? He's dead.
And look at Gene shaking his head. Yeah. Just give me that fire water.
Ready? Yeah.
Fucking clown.
So that's what goes on right now.
And listen to him breathe. Listen, when you use opiates, it makes you breathe real heavy. Your respiratory. Listen to the way this fat pig is breathing.
Conversation with a Bolano guy. Bolano guy with a stutter. You know who I'm talking about, right? Bleep, bleep. That's all, folks. Mr. Porky.
Yeah, you look like Porky Pig. He's got the balls to call somebody Mr. Porky. He looks like Porky Pig.
And I met him with you in the cigar lounge. Yeah.
In the pool hall.
Sorry. Yeah.
So I had an argument with a manager of his bar. I told the guy, don't come back to work because I was trying to buy the bar at the time. And so he asked to speak to me. So I gave him the courtesy to go and speak to him. Normally, I wouldn't even give him the courtesy. I figured maybe I could twist this into shaking him down for a piece of the bar, to be honest with you. So
what a lie and something.
He said, I don't understand why you're being like this. Who made you a gangster?
B Money, no offense. Don't tell me how to do things.
Like meaning who's
you go start your own stupid little podcast like my stupid podcast and worry about the clicks.
Yeah, I wasn't straightened out at the time. He knew that. I told him I was a gangster when I came out of my mother's cum. Who made
Look at that. Is that here we are? I was a gangster when I came out of my mother's CUNT. Yeah, real eloquent speaking guy, real smart guy, man. Who the fuck talks like that? You could have just say when I came out of my mother. Like, he has to put that. This guy is the lowest of the low dirtbag. Yeah, he was a gangster when he came out of his mom. This guy just lives in a fantasy world.
You a gangster. Who has to make you that?
Right. Well, let's see there.
Look, right. Gene will. Wow. Maybe he was Gene's fucking mezzophonic lover or something. Cosign. Oh my God.
Like you're either
so you needed someone to make you the man that you are.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
So let me ask you a question, Frankie. I know
These
you were part
guys.
of one of the last murders, basically, that a mob boss ordered.
Yeah.
Basically, for this time.
No one ordered that murder. This guy's lying about that murder.
And I know you're part of the Mikey Mellish murder. Now, can you elaborate on that? Because that was like
Sure, there's a lot I have to say about this.
Yeah.
First of all, let me say first and foremost, I was dear friends with Mike.
Right.
And I was family with his brother Joe.
Right.
If Joe doesn't take his 50 to life like a man and go upstate.
He does look like Big Ed, ain't it, Walt? He does look like Big Ed.
And basically, they never agreed to die in jail. They never
I know that.
put this hit on Mike. And I'll tell you something, like Joey was home and they would have told me to go kill Mike. I would have went right to Joey and we would have killed 4 or 5 of them. And I would have stuck my deadbeat father in as boss and took control.
Wow, I would have stuck my deadbeat. Number one, this is all bullshit. This is all fucking smoke and mirrors. Building this fat pig up, trying to impress people. What a fucking pig.
Definitely not go kill Mike. But Mike was a different kind of guy than Joe.
Now, wasn't the Mike the Meldish guy who was in the Purple Gang? I seen somebody write in the chat.
If I would have went to Mike and tipped him off, Mike would have went right to Maddie. So, you told my nephew to kill me? It would have just put me in a bad position. I tried to think of 100 different ways to get out of this situation. And if I was like working for just some stranger or someone who I'd been around 10 years, but I had my father come pick me up. Hey, leave your cell phone.
Yeah, I know Meldish was killed, and he actually lied and blamed 2 innocent guys for it.
We gotta go somewhere. You know what it's like when you get.
But he told 2 stories. I believe he said his dad killed him first, or he killed him. Then he blamed it on these other 2 guys.
Calls at 2, 3 in the morning. Yeah, go meet so and so over here in the neighborhood. Leave your cell phone home. You're gonna pick up a call with no GPS. You already know what it is.
Right.
You know you're putting in work that night, or you're the work. 9 times out of 10, I thought I was getting killed. Every time I went out, I do official kiss my wife and kids goodbye. I knew I wasn't.
You
going
mean
out.
you slapped your wife and kids goodbye? This guy was nothing but a junkie. 24/7 shooting fucking babanya in his arms, man. Junk.
And I got lucky. I did. Because every time they sent us after anybody, that guy got sent to meet us, thinking he was either killing someone with us or going to get money or shaking someone, or, wherever it was.
What?
So I knew it was just a matter of time before they sent me to get killed.
He does look like Artie Lang, Todd Father. That's a good one. I gotta put that one up there, man. Fucking Artie Lang.
Were you ever scared of being killed or going out on those, 2, 3
I mean, you're not scared until you get there. If I'm told the day before we're doing something the next day, the fear hits me when I'm in the car, especially when there's someone sitting behind me. In the car, I can't stand it. Then you go through the motions. I'm sure you understand this.
Of course I do. When I shot Johnny Gavin and Georgie Guano. Oh my God.
Everything, either things go down or they don't go down. When you decide to split.
Hold on, B Money. Are you a half a Fenoik? You're only tough. I'm not being tough. I'm just telling you to shut the fuck up because you don't run my fucking channel. Go start your own stupid podcast like mine, and then you can make decisions on who clicks what, you half a fucking Fenoik with the fucking Yam name over there, you little titsoon. Get the fuck out of here, kid. You fucking clown. Next stupid thing you say, I'm going to block your dumb ass. You fucking clown.
Split. You're relieved because you didn't get killed. You didn't get killed, you didn't get pinched yet. And then by the time you're halfway home, you already wondering if there's going to be cops waiting there for you.
He's wondering where his heroin is. He wants to get home to put that spike in his arm and spike up, Porky Pig.
You know what I mean? Like, then you're reading the newspaper the next morning. There's your murder on the front page.
Right.
Did
you ever?
You gotta remember. I don't mean to cut you off.
You gotta remember. I don't mean to cut you off, but we're some serious gangsters here. We're serious guys.
He's not choosing the guys he's doing the work with. When you get that phone call, your confidence level of.
Look, do you notice when Elite said that? He made a few little like Porky Pig faces. Like, yeah, of course. This is nothing but my blue heaven, co-signing lies, Gene's waxed eyebrows.
Like him saying, hey, Gene and John, yeah, let's go. Yeah, right. And then we say to ourselves, okay, we're in control. We know the guys that are capable. We know the guy's not weak. We know, so when you're going on a blind like he is, of course, there's
going on a blind.
Things running through your mind.
He looks like he's wearing sunglasses like he's blind. These 2 fucking clowns. This piece of shit, all he did was rob old ladies, break into houses in Howard Beach, Queens, robbing old fucking women, preying on his own people, breaking into houses. He's a purse thief, snatches purses. Fucking scumbag.
Mind. And then after you leave, you're thinking, is this guy going to give me up? Is this guy weak? Are they going to try to,
Just like your brother? Like when your brother ratted you out, you fucking idiot? Your brother told everybody what a liar you was?
And so there's a million things that say.
And you know what? You don't fault the people. I told Gene this before, and he'll corroborate this when I say Gene.
Of course Gene will corroborate that. Of course little Genie will corroborate whatever you say there, Porky Pig.
The person that could get me is you or my father. So if you do it, make sure they find my body so my kids can get the life insurance. That's all I ever asked anybody. And if I have to do something new, I'll try to do the same. This is the way you live at the time.
Did you,
These guys want to be made guys so bad. These 3 right here want to be made guys so bad. And they still think they're fucking in the streets and big tough. These are crooks and drug addicts.
you're going through the motions of those, highly stressful moments, it sounds like. Are you ever regretting that you're even a part of this, wishing that this isn't what your life is?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I had a bad sickness called ambition.
Did you hear that? Ambition. Ambition for what? Bags of dope? Ambition for opium? Ambition for beating your wife? For neglecting your kids? For fucking bringing junk and needles in your house where you lost your children? To the state, you fucking loser? Then you lied about 2 people? Put them in jail?
I say to myself, there's a period of time I'm going to get through right now, and on the other side of this, I'm going to be better. Oh, sorry. On the other side of this, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be in a better position. I'm going to be a better provider. You know, like I knew through my whole life there was always. I never had an easy day in my life. You know, so and every day that was extra hard, the next day was.
I used heroin.
So I always knew, like, I just got to get through this. It's not just like I played football my whole life. You go to game day, then you celebrate after you win. You know.
What do you think you'd be doing if you had never been in this life at all?
I was a pre-med student when I.
A pre-med student. This fat pig is so stupid, uneducated, not eloquent at all. He talks like a fucking cavone. Pre-med. Pre-heroin.
My father, when these guys got the strip clubs and gave them to us. So it was very difficult to go back to school when you were running nightclubs.
When you're doing heroin, you mean?
17 years old.
Junkie.
I was a young guy. I was 17 years old, coming back and forth from Buffalo. I went to Buff State and running a nightclub for the Banana.
Yeah, pre-methadone. That's a good one, James.
With them. And started like really getting into violence with them. And I'm not going to go too deep into it. Maybe I want to put it in the book or something. Some things happened.
He's not going to get too deep into it because it's all bullshit. He's going to wait and have other people tell him some lies so he can put it in one of his Johnny A. Liar books. A pure fucking fable.
17, 18 years old. That put me right in line to be straightened out. They don't straighten.
He straightened this fat pig junkie out at 17? I don't think so, pal.
You know, so everything was progressing perfectly. And this is why my father chased me from that group. He shot.
Do you hear that? He's trying to say he was 17, ready to get made, but his father chased him away.
Put that door in my face because I would have been 22, 23 years old with a banana button, which isn't the same as a Gambino button.
Like my partner was supposed to, Bobby, but he froze up. He was supposed to get it at 23 years old on the Pregnata murder, but he botched it. Same situation.
Now, I'm also wondering, you said that you were at Buff State and you're also, running strip clubs on the side, starting to get into that.
Well, it was a regular nightclub at that time.
So how do you go from being a pre-med student at Buffalo State? What do you tell your friends? Do they know what you're doing? Do they understand? Are they a little suspicious?
My friends up in college, I didn't tell them anything about my life. There was one girl from Long Island who happened to somehow, I guess like a family member knew about my father. So I guess she had called home and said something, I met this guy, Frank Pasqua, and somehow they figured it out. And so she knew that I was connected, but I never told them anything. Like no one knew it. They just knew as far as like when you wanted something, come to me, obviously.
So then you kind of off camera, you're telling us a little bit about how it would work going from.
If you wanted something like a bag of dope, a few Oxycontins to shoot in your fucking ass.
Canada, bring in different things.
Yeah. Okay. So back before 9/11, there was no IDs or passports to go to Canada. You take your student ID. You can make an ID in a lamination machine.
Aletto took his sunglasses off. He wants to look at him with his own eyes. Look at him, just can't take his eyes off him. Look at that.
So there was the Peace Bridge that we would walk across. Like a 15-minute walk to Canada. So I would walk across, and I had been introduced through some of the Banana guys that I was running that nightclub. It was called Club Quest on Staten Island on Bay Street. And through them, I got introduced to a guy in Canada because Banana was very strong.
So he's trying to say the Bananos in America, introduce them to Banano guys in Canada. What's up, Mob Rats 1? So check out his Instagram. It's real good. Who's going to believe, number one, like I said, this guy was a teenage junkie, a 20-year-old junkie. Let's go introduce the fat junkie kid who fucking beats his mother, robs his mother, beats women. Let's go introduce him to guys in Canada. Yeah, okay. liar.
Who was supposed to just kind of look out for me if I needed it and help me out if I
What's up, Vincent Adams? What's up, boss man?
wanted to make a couple dollars, you know. And so this guy ended up plugging me in with a dope connection.
A dope connection. Like, he's going to act like he was this big dope seller. He was a user, known junkie.
So I would walk across the Peace Bridge, 20-minute walk, my student ID. I'd pick up maybe, at the time, I thought 100 grams was a lot of weight. I ended up copping out to 10,000 kilos of heroin.
It's so funny. Look at Aleto's cheesy smile. Oh my God, this is a cringe fest, man.
About a couple months ago, it was the 10,000
fucking
kilos of heroin.
cringe. What a cringe fest with these
We're giving
fucking
away our
freaks.
$79 backpack for free. You just pay the shipping. No hidden charges.
Shove that
no
backpack
fees.
up your ass.
Was heroin. But at the time, 100 grams was a lot, you know. So I would go over there and get maybe 200 grams, you know, 2/4 pounds. A pound of dope, and I think I was the man. I jump on the Amtrak in Buffalo, 8 hours. Get off in Penn Station, hand off the dope to a friend there. He'd hand me back money. I jump back on, do a 16-hour.
And shoot up. He would fix up real quick and get high.
Train day, you know.
Yeah, this is all for the kids. What are the kids learning from this? Like, and you'll watch Felix will notice that in a little bit, and he'll be like, well, remember, we're doing this all for the kids to teach them. These guys are just all in their little fucking snuff fest, fucking delusional fucking minds right here, telling their stupid lies.
And go back up to Buffalo. Then I'd live on that money for like 2 months, you know. I was a college kid. And I thought I was spending money, but I didn't learn about spending money until later. I learned how to spend money real good.
Learned how to shoot dope.
You learned how to what spending money really looked like.
At the time, if I took my friends out and a bunch of girls out with my friends, they had girlfriends. You know, say there was 5 of us, so there's 10. You know, 5 couples. So at the end of the night, I wouldn't let anyone pay for anything. You know, like $1,500 tab. You know, fast forward 8 years, it would be a $16,000 tab. Right? I'd be doing the same thing. You know.
And so, you know, we're talking also because part of the show is also trying to tell people and mostly kids to stay away from this.
Let me tell you, this was an entire seduction. I got addicted like a.
Did you see Felix throw that in? Because Felix realizes what's going on. These 3 fucking jerk offs talking about all this bullshit. And he's like, hey guys, remember, it's for the kids.
Drug addict to this lifestyle, and the path that it took me down directly had me facing the death penalty. Very easily could have.
Yeah, the 4 guys are in jail right now who had nothing to do with a crime. I read those things the other night. It's just sick. This guy.
And my kids have to keep their heads down in shame because their father was given a lethal injection. So,
well, wouldn't your kids have their heads down in shame right now because their father was a filthy junkie stool pigeon who beat their mother, and for his drug use, they ended up in fucking foster care. You fucking loser.
there is no. You're always paying the freight. You're living fast. You're enjoying yourself. You're paying for that eventually. So there is no. This lifestyle is beyond over.
How did you, when you say I got
His lifestyle is heroin.
addicted to it, do you mean you personally, like, do you feel like you just couldn't get out because of the pressure of the people around you?
No. Look, there are many qualities that have been developed through thousands of years of evolution.
What the
The
fuck?
qualities that I happen to have in concert inside of me made me the perfect fit for being a gangster.
Wow.
I loved being the first person everyone called. Sometimes I'd wake up and have 90 missed phone calls. You know what I mean? And I loved that. I loved being important, being the
I
center.
love being important. I love being the center of attention because my daddy didn't like me and my mom. This fucking fat pig is one of the most delusional, fat, junkie scumbags I have ever seen. He does look like a guy from Pulp Fiction. Not Big Ed, the fat one with the fucking goatee that's sweating while Big Ed's raping Marcellus Wallace.
Center of attention. Being the guy everyone knew not to fuck with and the guy everyone came to for help. There's a word, I think I maybe used it twice in my life. No.
You should have said no to dope. Who was the Forever Young guy? I don't know his real name. the Forever Young dude. I think it's if you go watch the video I did on him, his channel link is in there. I drop everybody's channel's link when I do their videos, except these Scandandinas right here. These Metzaphonics.
Don't ever say no to anyone. You know this for a fact.
Yeah, but I want to tell you something, and you've been around long enough now to see, and guys that we bring.
Look.
He's well spoken.
Yeah.
He's
Hey, did you just hear that? He's well spoken. He's educated. Well spoken, educated. Are you fucking nuts?
He's a nice guy. You can see, obviously, he's got another side to him.
Why don't I shut up? Because I don't have to shut up, Johnny Bags, you fucking half a foot. No, like, I don't have to. But you know what? You got to shut up because you're a little bitch in the chat. And just stay there, you little fanook. You fucking rat lover. You're a rat lover. You worship these stool pigeons, you fucking rat.
But here's the question.
You're a rat enabler.
Because, again, back to the kids. You got how many kids?
I have 3 sons.
3 sons. And
3 sons. Oh, what a shame. What's up, stool pigeon?
Your message to your sons now, different than when we grew up.
Well, my kids, first of all, had no idea that the mob was even real. They're so isolated and insulated.
Because you didn't raise your kids, you fat pig. Your in-laws did, and the state.
Because my wife's family are very hardworking, legit Italian people. Nothing to do with anything.
And that's why they hate you, you fat pig. And that's why they had restraining orders on you, you fat Steven Seagal-looking fuck. You dirty pricks.
They wanted nothing to do with the street life. They worked
My 3 needles instead of my 3 sons, my 3 needles.
hard. They took care of their family. My kids basically are lucky that they weren't raised by me.
Hear what he said? He says, my kids were lucky they weren't raised by me. Fucking scumbag.
Because they didn't get to see this.
What, see the heroin use? Yeah, they did. You lived with your kids when the fucking DCYF or CPS came in your house and found the needles and the pill bottles, and they took your kids away from you. You fat junkie. You were nothing more than a fat junkie.
You know, I'd come home 15 minutes, you know what I mean, buy a couple cars, go right back to jail. You know, so thank God they didn't have to, and they didn't know. I was very surprised that my.
Of course they didn't know because you weren't in the mob. You weren't a mobster. You weren't that.
Sentencing, obviously my family showed up to support me. I really didn't think that. Now the judge was very nice, talking to my kids, making them feel comfortable. 20 minutes later, he's talking about murders I committed and thousands of kilos I was smuggling.
Murders he committed. This guy's amazing. This stool pigeon is amazing right here. This rat pack right here is the lies. I
didn't expect.
Walt says my 3 spoons exactly. His 3 spoons that he cooked up his dope in.
I figured he would be like, "Hey, maybe you want to take the kids out of the courtroom." That's when my kids realized. My youngest son told my wife, "That stuff's real. The mob is real. Dad's in the mob."
Dad's in the mob? He told his kids, he lies to his kids and tells them he was in the mob. He wasn't. He was just a fucking junkie loser. That's it.
Make a movie about this. And
make a movie about you shooting up? Pig.
He said, you know, Pop's in the mob too? Because they couldn't believe it because my father's such like a soft guy, you know? And granted, you know, back in the 70s, he was a killer. But my kids were so isolated from this, they had no clue. No clue. They figured that, you know, their dad ran some nightclubs.
They knew their dad was a junkie. They were taken out of their own fucking home and put in foster care. You stupid fuck. They knew what a junkie you are.
And they really had no clue. And that's why I'm very happy that they were.
Drug abuser, drug dealer, no murders, Jim Bella. Yes, he was a fucking junkie. Just embellishing. School of Ted Otto.
From this. And their first introduction to it was huge ramifications. You know what I mean? Like, look at this.
Their first introduction was it when they went to play with their G.I. Joes. They found needles on the ground and empty baggies.
All this time he's getting. Because they, you know, went over at this sentencing. My minimum was 480 months. My maximum was life. They had done hearings about it. You know, my kids saw how bad this was.
Now, how do you go from, I mean, now you just got out. to rebuilding your life, rebuilding your relationships, wife, kids? I mean, at least fill them in and going from here.
In the past, I would come home and my first obligation would be to the family, the crime family.
His first obligation would be to get to fucking Juan and buy dope. His first obligation was to cop a fucking bundle of dope. That was his first obligation, not to no crime family. This guy is a fucking joke. He looks like a fucking baby Shamu circus elephant.
And so I would automatically dive into that. And there would be
he would dive into that dope. What do we got? Some A-Light Simps in the chats, A-Rat Simps in the chats, rat enablers, rat lovers. You fucking rat nest.
3 days a week I would spend with my family. And the rest of the time I didn't come home for those days.
Yeah, he was shooting up, getting high with his friends, but he wants to tell the world, I was in the Mafia.
It was full-time. I had a home with my family, and I always had an apartment elsewhere.
It was called the fucking trap house, you fucking loser, where you were doing drugs, a crack house.
Kept things I wouldn't keep in my house around my kids.
No, that's a lie. You kept dope, needles, and pills around your kids. That's why your kids ended up in CPS custody.
And I would dive into that to make my next step in my progression towards going where I want to go with this family. So now, since that isn't, it's just so different now that my number one priority is being with them.
Now it's about the kids. The kids. Yeah, okay.
Before, this was my number one priority. And as, a bonus, I'd take the kids to the movies and shopping every weekend. Now it's completely different. There's no opportunity for me to become dedicated to something besides my family again.
And heroin.
In my life.
Heroin.
Obviously I have hobbies. I'm into physical training.
I'm into shooting. He's into physical training. Look at the size of this flubber bubber. Look at this fucking baby walrus. Fucking physical training? What are you training? Your breast? I don't get it. Training them fat cheeks?
Things like this. They come 100% second to the 4 people that were in the courtroom for me that day.
Well, the structure.
Baby Huey is right. The 4 people he put in jail. 4 innocent men who had nothing to do. This guy is such a bad man.
For the mob, right? I talk about it as broken, so that it's not strong. But now I talk about structural family. You're lucky you have a good wife that stands by you. And you're lucky because your wife.
His good wife. I don't know this man's wife. I'm not going to bash her. But the beatings and the abuse he put towards her, he abused this woman. This woman had restraining orders on him for 5 fucking years. This guy's a woman beater, just like Aletto. Aletto used to punch his ex-wife around. I don't know if Gene really beat women. I know he threatens women where they don't give him pictures. Gene's a simp also. Gene's a big simp. He was begging his ex-girlfriend for her picture. Samantha, I need your picture to put in my book. She's a married woman. Leave the girl alone, simp.
Your kids not to believe in we believe in. Gene was lucky because he had a strong mom that stood by him.
Yeah, great woman.
So I think that the message to the kids is exactly what you're saying.
The message to the kids is exactly what you're saying. Buy my butcher knives on eBay. I have butcher knives on eBay for the kids. They can carve sticks. They can whittle wood. It's the butcher knives and baseball man.
Life's about your kids. Life's about your wife. Life's about the people that stand with you. And not what we believed in or thought was something of a family, which is really nonsense. And there was no loyalty.
This guy
Gene
is
learned the hard way
insane.
the same way. And the only one that was sitting around waiting for him or helping him was always his mother. So you guys are lucky. You had some good structure outside of, obviously, the mob life. And that's what we're trying to tell these kids. Don't follow it.
100%. I mean, you have to make
100%. You're telling these kids don't follow it. Oh, my God. Have you gave any money to the kids, Aletto? You put that money in your pocket and you go around fucking gallivanting, you fucking clown.
true loyalties in your life, not these fake loyalties. Like I was just saying the other day, a lot of people they do what I did, and they cooperate, and they, obviously I lost a lot. I lost my whole side of my family, but Gene,
you did that because you put your father in the can, called the cops, and you abused your mother. You abused your mother. You would go to your mother's house, rip money out of her hand, and steal from your mother to get your heroin.
and I were brothers for years. Yeah, he happened to have his situation go down. I had mine go down, and now I'm very lucky that I still have him. You know what I mean? Other guys, you never see a guy that you went out. We went out nights. We didn't know if we were going to get killed. We knew we were going to kill people.
Did you hear that? We knew we were going to kill people. They've never killed people. What's he talking about? See how they lie when they get together like this and fill and boost each other's ego up?
I mean, so at least I still have this connection to at least one person who's been there with me, seen it, knows exactly who I am.
Now,
I'm sorry. Can you go back in what Gene was asking about the Melrose murder?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, look, Johnny A-Light wants to talk about man, I want to hear about the murders. I really couldn't watch all the snuff film this morning. I only watched half of the snuff film. Can we go about the murders?
That's what I understand. It was a big.
All right, well, just ask me some questions so I understand what you guys want.
Like basically when the order.
So you asked me some questions so I want to understand what you guys want me to say. Coach them. They went through a whole fucking coaching session before this.
Why'd they pick you? You thought explain everything.
Again, I wasn't exactly a nobody, but I definitely wasn't a somebody.
Right.
I wasn't exactly a nobody, but I wasn't a somebody. You were a junkie.
Follow what I'm saying? I tried to influence a situation that was way above me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I realized at one point I was telling my father, but this is Mike. This isn't some stranger. This is Mike.
Wait, your father was good friends with them.
Yeah, my father.
Yeah, anybody dropping some dumb racial shit, boot their fucking ass out of here.
Put work in with Joey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? My uncle Anthony was a man and a half, and he was a notorious killer, legit tough.
Yeah, I seen his face.
Again, when John killed Paul, we suffered a lot. You know what I mean? Frankie Locke was our guy, my grandfather's guy.
B Money, you little cunt. The pot near the ocean, you stupid prick. The pot near the ocean in the main city.
Basically, my father had a couple brothers, and none of them were progressing because, we were on the wrong side we were on the losing side of that war.
Losing side
I
of a
realized I'm
war?
talking to my father, who's a has-been, trying to influence a situation that.
Look how he talks about his own father.
I just gave up. After the second time I met with him, and when we discussed it, we were going to do this fake heroin deal. We were getting Mikey to come pick up some samples of heroin to give to his guys to sell. And he was supposed to get the heroin, leave, call us at another date, let us know his order, and bring us some money. And when we did that, I was supposed to kill him.
He was supposed to.
And,
oh my
when I
God, these
realized
guys
that
so
talking to my
full
father
of
about
shit.
this was going nowhere, I shut it down. And at this point, I did something I very rarely have done in my life. I tried to put it out of my head, which is very difficult for me. But I said to myself, this is happening one way or another. I need to go through these motions, and it just needs to be done. If Joey was home, like I said, things would have gone very differently.
Then how'd they end up getting him?
Yeah, you're right, Mike. He wore a wire against his own father, just like John Francisi.
I mean, ultimately, he was, he was told that people were going to meet him from his house. I was on the street when he was killed.
Right.
And my father drove me there. We stopped at one of our nightclubs. We met a guy who gave us a different car because we all had, brand new Mercedes. They all had, GPS and shit. So we swapped for a kind of late model foreign car that didn't have any GPS.
This dirty fucking pig right here wore a wire in his own father. He put innocent people in jail. I'm not in the mood for none of these faggots in the chat. You fucking fanoiks. You come in here and act stupid, I will fucking gas you today. They come in here talking stupid, gas these fanooks. You ain't gonna come troll my chat, you little fucking scandandina.
We drove out
All
there.
because you like this stool pigeon. Or I made fun of one of your little favorite rats, that fucking freak Penice, the woman beater. That fucking fanook. Disgraziad scumbag. You people who worship these rat fucks, use a scum. These rat worshippers come in here, block them immediately. Block these fucking retards. I have no time for fucking rat lovers, you weak motherfuckers. You have no concept, you dirty motherfuckers. Rat loving fags. I hate yous.
Yeah. And we were on the street. You know, we went to see Mike. I got to see my friend a few minutes before he died, you know.
This guy's so full of shit, man. I read up on this story. He's so full of shit.
And, evidently.
Why do you think they waited to release this? This was done like 7 months before it was released. It was done because their buddy Otto over there, Ted, the fucking the puppet master for these rats who feeds them all this information, and these rats go along with it and they lie like rugs.
Only this guy Chris, who lifetime loser, you know. They dangled the button in front of his face. He would have killed his mother for it. You know what I mean? He never made anything of himself. Fat slob. Don't take care of himself. Doesn't work out.
Look at him calling people fat slobs. Look at Porky fucking Pig over here. And look at Feelers looking at him like, wait a minute, you're calling people fat?
Barely read. Signed his name with an X. It was my bunk.
Look, you know, Aledo, hear that? Can hardly read, signed his name. Aledo took a little, he was a little embarrassed over that because Johnny can't write for shit. Go look at his butcher knives that he's selling on eBay. He can't fucking write. Go look at the baseball bats he signed. It's like Helen Keller writing. Helen Keller could write way better than John Alite.
For 6 months in MDC.
Right.
Wanted to strangle him. You know you got to lock in together at 9:30. Take a shit at 8 o'clock. Don't make me kill you in your sleep.
Look at this disgusting toilet humor filled fat guy.
Tonight, 2-3 shits he's got to take in the cell. I hated the guy.
Yeah, he speaks out. Look at Elite. Elite loves the toilet humor. He loves it. Look at that big cheesy grin on Johnny Aleto's face. These guys are disgusting human beings.
Never liked them. But at the time, I had flipped now. So I had to play a little bit of role with the guy, which is kind of against my code. But
his code against his code. His code is fucking blue bags of heroin, black magic.
I had an end goal. You know, while I was in jail, they asked me to. While I was in jail fighting a drug case, they didn't know I had already decided to flip on Chris. They asked me to kill another guy.
Yeah, okay.
While I was in prison, they told me they wanted me to kill Mikey Knowles.
Oh my God!
Boss of the Banana family. Yeah. They said he's a cat.
Do I think he's worse than Aledo, Johnny Truelove? In certain ways, yes, and in certain ways, no. But yeah, he's just as bad as Elite. I would say they're around a tie. Around a tie with these two. They're both the bottom of the barrel, these two guys.
Cadre member at MCC just ride up on a motorcycle and shoot him while he's cleaning the roads. So that's how much my crew cared about.
If he got on a motorcycle, the thing would fall over, number one. This fucking pig couldn't ride a motorcycle, this Mama Luke.
Yeah. You've been home 20 minutes in the last 11 years. We want you to shoot a guy in downtown Manhattan in front of all the officers that are watching. Right. But you'll get away because you're on a motorcycle.
Bullshit.
This is the people that I was, and honestly, that was when I flipped.
Really? Didn't he just say he flipped before on, like, yeah, this guy is a fucking idiot. And then he's going to tell us later the only reason he flipped was because of his kid. So he has 3 different reasons why he became a rat.
Like, we'll get into this in a minute. I had already made the decision I had called a sit down over a complete infidelity in loyalty. You know?
No one, you can't call a sit down, you fat junkie.
Someone had basically informed against me, very close family member, informed against me.
Wait, I know the story. You tried to get your father shelf and you almost did. I mean, pretty much.
He was crying.
He used to cry to me all the time, right? Yeah. So he pretty much was getting, his father had the police called on him. So we're going to get into this. You don't have to elaborate too much on it, but just, go into it a little bit, basically.
All right. we'll definitely come back to the motorcycle murder I was supposed to commit, which made me really. I called the U.S. attorney.
Right.
I said, listen, now they're giving me murders in here. Bring me a wire. I'll take care of this whole crew.
Right.
Wow.
So what happened was my grandmother, my beloved grandmother, passed away and left the house to my aunt. Two-family house we all lived in. My aunt wanted to die in that house. My mother and father had designs on selling that house, buying some bigger, nicer house somewhere, having it under my mother's name instead of my aunt's. So this woman is a 70-year-old with no family besides my mom and us. So they basically said, sell the house or we're moving out of it. You got to live by yourself. She said, I don't want to sell the house. My mother and father both died in this house. I live by here too. So she.
Thanks,
they moved out.
JC.
They got an apartment in New Jersey because my brother was going to school.
Thanks, JC and Callie. That's nice of you. You guys give JC a sub. He's got a channel also.
In New Jersey. And this way they got a discount with the school. They had an apartment in New Jersey, like a condo there. They told my aunt they wouldn't even come visit her on the weekends if she didn't sell the house. So she put the house on the market.
He's trying to bash his mother and father, saying his mother and father wouldn't even talk to his aunt if they didn't sell the house. Who knows if it's true? He's also going to say that he was going to buy the house. This guy doesn't got a pot to piss in and a fucking window to throw it out of. He spent all his money on heroin.
I came home from jail. I moved into the house. My wife and my kids moved into the house with me. My aunt took it directly off the market. Now she got a family again. Why sell the house I want to die in?
Because you're a junkie and you beat your wife. So your aunt didn't want to watch you abuse a woman, your kid's mother.
Family members are Frankie's kids.
That's why your kids ended up in CPS, you fucking pig.
She didn't want to sell it. They would come once or twice a month and terrorize this woman. I mean, literally shake her down for the house. Yeah. This is what the wise guys do.
Yeah.
They use ACS to make money. I'll tell you that story in a minute because it's connected to this. So my father had come to me and said, listen, we want you to move out. Get an apartment somewhere.
No, that's not true. Boot Hill Crew, heroin does not make you lose weight. There's a lot of fat, obese heroin addicts, a lot of them. Crack makes you lose weight, but there are some fat crackheads too.
Okay. So once you move out, she'll sell the house. We want to get the house sold and put on the mommy's name, me and my mother. I said, I'm not moving out of the house. So I lived here my whole life. I don't want to sell it. In a year or two, I'll buy it myself.
Yeah, how are you going to buy it? You're a heroin addict.
They didn't want that. So now, unbeknownst to me, obviously I had no clue. They had started calling cops on me.
Thanks,
My
Earl.
father, you know this rule. You're the boss of your family first. What goes on under your roof, you're responsible for. Before you are responsible for anything in the street, you have to be in charge of your family first. So whether he knew, which I believe he knew, or not, my mother starts calling the cops, DEA. I had like 6 doctors writing for me on Staten Island.
And why was your mother doing that? Because you were abusing your mother. You were taking money off your mother, abusing her. That's why she did that to you. That means a lot. When your own mother calls the cops, has you arrested, you got to be a bad junkie. And this guy was one of the worst junkies around, and everybody knew it. Nobody dealt with this guy. The guys he put away wouldn't talk to him if he paid them. Wouldn't say a word to this guy. What's up, Del?
This woman started a tailspin that ruined a lot of lives. And my 14-year-old son was at the house one night and heard the conversation going on, recorded on his phone. There was an officer in the kitchen. He was in the basement playing ping pong, and he recorded the conversation by phone. When he played the conversation for me, I heard my mother and my aunt talking to this officer saying, my son, since he came home, he's an animal. He has to burn his clothes. He comes home and burns his clothes sometimes. And they turned around and said,
yeah, he burns his clothes. He comes up and burns his spoons. Your mother found all the burnt spoons over the house, and you were a junkie madman beating your wife up in front of your mother. That's why that happened, you fucking fat-looking Steven Seagal, Porky Pig-looking fucking punk rat. And look at Aletto smiling. Ugh.
Said, his wife's got an order of protection against him, but they live together. So
That's right. See, his wife had an order of protection. Why? Because he beat her. He beat her like a fucking punching bag. Like she was an Everlast punching bag or a Spalding punching bag. He beat the poor woman.
You arrest him for that, that'll give him 10 years, and we could, it'll be out of our hands. So this whole time I'm thinking, well, I'm listening to the recording, I'm like, oh wow, wait till I tell my father this shit. Then I hear my father's voice on the recording. He says, oh,
Your
yeah,
family hated you. You were a junkie. You abused your wife.
It's nice to know your blind spot can be
And
Blind
by
spot
abusing your wife, you abuse your kids. They see it.
SUVs, unlike all Honda or Subaru SUVs.
They see that. So obviously, you took money off your fucking mother. Yes, I do have a very strange voice. I will agree to that. 100%. Arnold Horshack.
My father. This is a wise guy. So
this fat pig is throwing his whole family under the bus through this whole thing. He put innocent guys in jail because he's a fat junkie liar and because of his scumbag handler. Unbelievable.
now, things happened really quickly. They started an ACS case. They brought ACS to my house, came upstairs. All my pill bottles I had gotten the day before, they were empty already. I sold the pills. And so that got us all under investigation. We ended up
he lost his kids. Listen.
in custody of my kids for several months.
7 months. You don't lose your kids for nothing. You lose your kids and you do something real bad, like play with needles and beat their mommy and get caught with drugs in your house. Your kids must have told the fucking DCYF or CPS, Daddy sticks needles in his arm. Daddy loves the white stuff.
Right then and there. They also got the order of protection case against me, but my wife at the time had been trying to get that order of protection.
Your wife put it on you. Now my wife's trying to get it on. It's called a battered woman syndrome. That's what it called. I feel bad for his wife that she had to be beat by this fat pig.
Did for 5 years already, and so she showed up to court, and they dropped all the case. They dropped the case and said, "We'll never prosecute him on this unless you press the charges against him." So.
And remember, this guy was accused of rape in 2006. This is a bad man right here.
We spoke to a lawyer. It looked like it was going to take us like almost 2 years to get our kids back.
Well, maybe you shouldn't play with needles, Porky Pig.
At the time, I had been approached numerous times while I was in Rikers Island. I was in jail by FBI agents. Because of Pat and his connection to Tommy Figs. Out of all the different FBI, they have a unit for each family. Right. The Genovese ones at the top. Like those agents are smart. Yeah.
Look at it like, yeah. Fuck.
Those agents are, they're on their job. They want the Genovese family. The Genovese family is the cream of the crop. Right. So I contacted this agent that was trying to flip me. Remember, she gave me her phone number one day. It was a younger, FBI agent. I guess maybe they
trying to flip you. They did flip you, you fat pig.
Because I had the escort service that I'd be like weak for a woman or something. So
yes, you are weak for a woman. It's like Panisi over there.
I said, listen, get this out of here. And she said, just put it in your phone under some stripper's name. All you wise guys do that. I got my phone number in 10 different ones.
Well, he's not a wise guy. This is not a wise guy. None of these guys. Gene was an associate to the Bonanos. A-Light was an associate to John Gotti Jr. for 2 years. This fat pig shot drugs in his arm.
Guy's phone. Right? And it's true. Yeah. All these wise guys got an agent in their phone. Yeah.
All these wise guys. How do you know that? You weren't a wise guys avoided you like the plague, man.
I took the number. So I don't know what made me finally take the number. Took the number, left it in my phone. This was like...
Yeah, he wore a wire and recorded his father, Set the Viking. What kind of man does that besides Johnny Francis over there and that other scumbag, fucking disgraziad from fucking Chicago, Frank Calabrese, that other motherfucker too.
6 months earlier, I called the number. I said, listen, you know what? I said, right now I'm free, but no parole, nothing. I'm going to put myself in jail for you guys. So I'm going to give you guys...
Listen to this one. Remember, folks, he told us he flipped 2 other times in this thing. So now he says he's going to flip again, but this time it's to save his kids. Ugh.
You go get my kids back from me. And they said, listen, out of all the agencies in the country.
See, this is now, remember how I tell you, every rat has their justification for ratting moment. If it's not, they hurt my friends or they ratted on me. His justification rat move is, I needed to save my kids from DCYF, CPS, which he put them in. If it wasn't for him, his kids would have never been in CPS. If it wasn't for the heroin and the needles, Oxycontins, and your opiate habit, you fat pig, you dirty prick. Hey, thank you, Eric Jones. Yeah, these people are scumbags, and that's why I want every time somebody looks up one of these three fucking scumbags' names, they see our videos next to theirs. Yeah, Tekashi 6ix9ine's another scumbag. He fucking paid those guys to go out and do all these crimes, and then he fucking told on the guys.
Child welfare has the most power out of all of them. They could go in your house with no warrant, everything. They said it's going to be difficult, but we'll see what we could do. And ultimately, through, me compromising my moral.
Yeah, Josephine, I like what you said right there. The way he described coming out of his mom tells you everything about this disgusting man. If I describe being birthed by my mother, I would never use those words. He couldn't have said the day I came out of my mom or the day I was born. He had to use CNUT. This man hates his parents. He abused his mother. He used to rip money out of his mother's hands and rob his mother and get in his mother's face and punk her off. This, you don't get more lower than that. And this other scumbag he's sitting with right here, Johnny A-Light, A-Rats, Aletto, used to punch his ex-wife in the face. Gene Borello, Tonto, used to rob old Italian ladies' houses. These are the three lowest scumbags you'll ever fucking see. And they all have the same, I don't know if Gene's handle was Ted Otto or not, but these two had the same handler. This guy who recruits all these scummy rat guys and gives them info, Ted Otto. Oh, fuck yourself, Ted.
Moral belief never to rat out. Also from my wife doing a lot of hard work and proving to them that these were unfounded claims about us.
Unfounded claims? What do you mean, pal? They don't take kids away for nothing, buddy. They found needles and stuff, and you beat your wife. You know how many domestic violence charges? I looked it up. I looked this up, folks. He has so many domestics. It's unbelievable.
Got our kids back in 6 or 8 months instead of 2 years. Wow. So I had to choose between being a father and being a wise guy.
Yeah, see, this is what gets me mad. You motherless fuck. I had to choose between being a father and being a wise guy. You know what, Porky Pig? You weren't neither. You weren't a father and you weren't a wise guy. You were a fucking shit bum junkie and you weren't even a father.
Of course, it wasn't even. I came up with the other. I was free on the street, no case. Called up, told them about a murder I committed. Ended up doing 6 more years.
But we thought you flipped. He told us twice in this video he flipped for other reasons. Now he flipped because of the amazing.
I put myself in jail. I had to get the kids back.
I had to get the kids back. I had to save my kids. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you, Bobby Johnson. Is that OG Bobby Johnson from South Central?
They were miserable. My parents were not.
Johnny Truelove, Tonto doesn't like me. I don't like Tonto. And all these rats better stop coming in the chat or trying to shout me out and act. I don't like yous. I'll never like yous. You cannot seduce me. I think yous are all fucking scumbags. And if it was up to me, I'd hang yous all. If I ruled this planet, I would throw you in an oven or a wood chipper. You would be publicly executed if it was up to me, but it's not.
And not just took the kids, they were mistreating the kids. Right. Our kids would have visits and tell us they were being mistreated. I had to get them out of there. And thank God.
Oh, he's such a hero. What a great dad.
My wife's family, like I told you, these are good people. They're not too fond of me in life.
Yeah, they hate you, you fat pig. You beat their daughter and ruined their grandkids'
I
lives.
blame them. You know,
Well, we all the same way. Everybody.
We're all the same way. You know, I punched my wife in the face a few times.
I put myself to them eventually. But these are good people, and they banded together like a family should. And we're able, after a couple months, to get my kids at least out of that house and into their house.
Right.
You know, but then we had to find a place for my wife to live. I rented an apartment for her because she couldn't live on the roof of her own kids. This was a travesty. You know what I mean?
Of your making, you junkie fuck. Of your making.
Great mother. I was degenerate, but I didn't bring it around my kids.
Yeah, you did. You did bring it around your kids because when they came in your house, they found needles and heroin. You did bring it around your kids. You slapped the shit out of your wife in front of your kids.
But you know what? Here's exactly what we do to show people ask us, because we want people really hear the reality of the life.
The politics of it. The life is politics.
And then back to
What life? None of yous were made guys in the mob. Gene was an associate with the Bonanos. You were on record with John Jr. for 2 years. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
what it does to the family. Not just us. We destroy our families, our kids, the sacrifice
Yeah, he had drug charges. Yup.
your wife has to make, or Gene's mother, or my family, whatever. And this is
I left my kids. I left my nightclubs. I left my. I hate Aleto, you fucking freak.
the part that the people don't see, that talk this nonsense about the life. And if it was so good, we'd all want our kids.
The ones that never squashed the
Never-
break,
well,
talking
right,
about
that's the-
I'll never this, I would never flip out.
I'm sure
They
because
went
they're
through
facing
15
through
minutes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I did my time, you did a skid bit.
Yes.
I got your time in the box on
Yeah.
the toilet. I don't want to hear about it.
Well, that's the thing. Most of these guys that talk like that never did anything, and they're not about
You
it.
slept?
Like I did things. I killed Georgie Grosso. I shot Johnny Gavin.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. Just now, I was in MDC. I was there. I'm not going to mention the guy's name because I was friends with his wife for a lot of years. So on the visit.
Listen to how he breathes, the fat breathing and heavy setness of him. He is a repulsive, plump little junkie who loves sticking needles and spikes in his arm.
With a maid guy in my crew who knows me. His wife.
He won't mention the name because the guy don't exist. These are fairy tales. These are fables. This is Dr. Seuss up in your face, the cat in the hat, the fat guy with the bat from Aleto. If you know, where's the bats? Where's the Mazapogo sticks? Really greased up? Get the fuck. I hate these
His
people.
wife knows me. I would see them on the visit floor. I'd be with my wife and my kids. They'd be 2 seats down from me. I'd look them in the eye, like, okay, let's get this over with, this confrontation. They look at the ceiling, the doorknob, the rug, the vending machine. They never look at me. Sorry, he don't want no problem.
I try to keep it humor, but sometimes I get angry because I hate these rats and these rat enablers. I fucking hate them. So I can't be funny all the time. These people enrage me.
All right. Now, imagine you're on the visit floor, and the guy who put your boss, underboss, counselor, and 18 other guys away is on the visit floor.
Especially when you know what a liar this fat pig is. And I've been reading up on this story the last few days and just watching this fat pig lie. And Aleto, this snuff film fucking watcher, and his little squaw Tonto. I can't stomach these creeps. Look at Phillips. Felix is not even paying attention. Look at him. Look at him, not even paying attention. Don Aleto is what the administration, Mike says. Grazie, Mike. Grazie.
You're going to move on.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to move on.
Right. That's what I say. I'm gonna do what you. Why aren't you?
I'm
doing
moving
it?
on.
Right.
I'm sitting there.
Look at Gene. Look at him getting all excited. Look at Tonto. He's getting excited. He thinks he's going to go get some settlers.
Afraid of me. I leave it alone. You know, he's got his wife, his kids. I'm a gentleman. I wasn't pursuing it.
He's a gentleman. He just said he's a gentleman.
Something stupid to me. I would have waited till we were in the search room until we were beaten, you know? So, 3 weeks we're on the visit together. 3 weeks. Doesn't say a word. Halfway through the 4th week, I'm expecting a visit. They come and get me, take me to the box. So there's been reports that there's an attempt on your life in the works.
Yeah.
He was writing slips because he was terrified to be on the visit floor.
Slips.
Are you kidding me? All he had to do was go to the vending machine, buy a can of soda, rip the can open, come over and
I ain't gonna
try
do
to
that.
kill me.
People don't realize that, and I've said this 100 times. 1% of the guys put in work. The rest
Out of
of them-
100, exactly. Out of 100 wise guys, maybe one of them will kill someone. If
Out of 100 wise guys, maybe. Blah, 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 blah. Like, once again, does he know how the mafia works? Like, once you're a captain and you're there for years, you don't have to go out and do that. The younger guys do it, the soldiers, the associates. Like, these guys are retards. Thank you for the super chat.
Pastor.
Yeah.
Do you feel like in a lot of ways you were brainwashed by this life?
I was brainwashed by the generation before my father's generation. I was raised by some real old timers. There was an old timer, Paul Baby Mongoya, who ran my neighborhood.
What
He
a
was legit.
This is such a lie right here. Listen to this. What bullshit.
Man and a half. His shadow would crush me if it fell on me. All right, there's a little old zip, and he was a real man. He schooled me in a lifestyle that he knew of. There's two. You watch TV and movies, and people.
So he's trying to say he was schooled by old timers from a few generations ago.
Profile his gangster life. They're telling you stories that are taking place in 2020, but the story is written about events.
And you're telling stories that took place in your imagination, you freak fat pig.
that took place in 1960. Well, it doesn't happen anymore. Now, all these agencies have gotten powers that are.
Yeah, he was brainwashed by a box of Little Debbie's, Kevin. That's a good one.
Ridiculous. Search and seizure powers.
Technology.
Technology. It doesn't exist anymore. So where I learned about a lifestyle.
And when you're going to run the neighborhood, this is how you're going to do it. Who the fuck believes this? This is some Alice in Wonderland type shit here, folks.
Schooled me like this.
He looks like he ate Hansel and Gretel.
$50,000 in the bank.
Did you hear that? Believes that.
The drop off. They trusted me with 50 grand. I felt privileged that these guys would put $50,000 in my hands. And we would take it over. I trusted. The people who ended up with it.
That's a different
Yeah,
era.
well said, Johnny. How is this helping kids again?
It's not
Yeah,
guys like
so I was
Andy
brainwashed.
Luciano or Luciano, Blackie, or guys like he's just saying. It's just a completely different era.
I was
guys.
brainwashed by being raised by people who are from another era.
It's not helping kids. It's helping John Elite's pocket. It's helping their pockets. It's giving them money to go around and do dumb shit. It's not helping kids.
So I had these ideals and this loyalty to a system that didn't exist by the time I got to it. By the time I got to it, it didn't exist.
Is it hard for you to trust people now because of?
Right around my neck, it says every betrayal begins with trust. I never trust anyone.
No, around your neck, that's some dirt. You don't wash up, chubby. They would need a power washer to wash your ass, baby Shamu. I think we should put you back in SeaWorld, you fucking freak. Tillicum the fucking whale. Well, I shouldn't even insult Tillicum like that.
But we'll trust anybody. He's my best friend. He owes me $28,000 right now. Right? Things going on there.
And for because back to
Look how giddy they are. Look how giddy they are. Fists bumping and everything. Tell me this isn't some sick fucking shit, folks.
It's true, Patty Lamar. You got it.
Look at the touching Gene's shoulder. Waxing them legs a Leto. Unreal.
He's in North Carolina. He bought a car wash with it. He goes, hey, we need you to clip.
Put the emblems on
We need
it.
this guy. He goes, yeah, go to North Carolina. We need Frankie and take Gene. Go clip this guy. He's a federal informant. Once he goes kill a guy.
Yeah.
Oh my
So while
god.
I'm on vacation, do it.
Yeah. Oh, what a character.
And they were going to straighten me out for it. And then I was going to bring you to Little Casey's. That was their whole plan.
Yeah.
Back to this message of, you know, for even if this kind of life doesn't exist anymore, there's still a lot of, you know, crime out there and kids that are gonna go into it eventually.
See, Felix is got to bring the kids up because they're stuck in the snuff film violence right now, and he's just thinking about what's he gonna shoot up and eat when he gets out of here.
Sin that you could, you know, kind of going in.
Bad.
Give you the options to go into this life and figure out why they're doing it. Figure out their motives. When you know someone's motives, you could move them with their own motivation. Why is somebody coming to you? Is it because you're weak? Is it because you're unintelligent? Look, you have to look at yourself and take stock.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm not the brightest guy.
Yeah, we know you're not the brightest guy. Shit
about you and tell you to do these things. No one's going to introduce you to this life if they care about you.
Look at Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles over here with the glasses on. The fuck is the epitome of wannabes and tryhards right here. Phonies.
There is no person that you can. It's one thing if someone's coming to you and say, "Hey, listen, we're in trouble. This is going to happen. We have to do this to prevent it." That's a precaution. It's different. Like, hey, I think maybe we could set something up, and in a year or two make some money doing it. If you start putting this in motion for me now, well, why aren't you doing it yourself? And this
guy never killed nothing but a bag of dope.
The rest of
veins, okay? The only thing he's killed is
and give two shits about
me. My mom didn't love me. Well, why didn't they? Because you abused heroin.
And you have to look at people's motivations. Why are they coming to you? It's because you're a victim. You're being victimized. Right there with a smile, a pat on the back, a hug and a kiss, you're being victimized. And if you don't see that, it's very difficult because there's always, for all of eternity, you'll be able to find some kid who wants to be accepted. That'll always be.
Did you also feel like you couldn't, that you never had like fit in, or that they're like in and be kind of liked by these people?
I was a pretty
no?
popular guy. Like I had a lot of connections. You know, everyone worked for me. Everyone I knew worked for me. You know, I ended up finding out too late in prison.
Everybody he knew worked for.
I didn't have a single friend. I just had employees.
He was a junkie.
Friends, let them get away with murder. It doesn't. It wasn't so much a fitting in thing. It was. I always had this idea to like serve this, family ideal. Of, you know, ideally I wanted to get back to the Gambino family and bring my family name back.
Jesus, bring his family name back in the. The mob guys wouldn't even talk to this guy. He was known as a junkie loser on the street.
You know, it's one of the reasons I did that for Alphonse. You know, we had a friend who at the time was a captain. We didn't like him too much, but
cut a guy for him in jail because
I heard he was shelved. Actually, I'm really not. He was shelved, right? Yeah, I heard they shelved him. And
yeah, Johnny Joe knocked him out. Johnny Joe knocked him out.
Who's knocked him out?
Johnny Joe Sperino. Knocked him out.
Yeah, I think Bobby Glasses had that done with JoJo over.
I'm gonna be honest with you though, I always got along with Al, but I'm gonna say this right now.
Look at Gene's eyebrows. Look how he waxes them eyebrows. How bushy and puffy would they be if he didn't wax them?
You don't shelf a
He
guy.
kept his
But
promises
here's the thing,
to me.
why shelf a guy like that? He's the, like, I feel like he's the money. He's the one that brought all the money. Why even let, like, I don't understand.
Well, he brought money that was his father's money. Those were his father's hustles.
Right.
So that I'm sure they didn't shelf him and let him take the money off the street. They shelved him. They put someone else in charge of it. They could give
They
less
shelved a box of cookies, you fat pig.
to the two. If I was-
Well, I heard there was different things that they said about him.
Here comes the expert. I heard there was different things about him. Sherbet, John Leader.
Doing some talking.
The big,
Well,
he made a
sentence.
comment. He made a
Comment,
comment
yeah.
and sentencing that was a rat comment, and that's what they ended up using as the politics to shelf him. But already, what had happened was there was an undercurrent of hatred for him because he made his whole crew take pleas because he didn't want to be
When
targeted.
they kill,
Pop out to the
Well, I
They
know
kill
his
at
sister's a
home.
baby. His sister's my godchild, and Ronnie one arm.
when I kill on the streets. I'm Pinocchio blood. Fucking
We
idiot.
discussed this several
I left my home. I left my nightclub. I left my kids.
times. He made some bad statements against me on it in his own voice.
I left my gay lover. I left my nightclub.
Big statement.
I,
Yeah,
I'm way out of
I left my wife's teeth on the floor.
well, during
I'm the newest rat on the block. No one wants to talk to
during
me.
his opening statement, he did in his own trial in his defense. He said that I'm a loose cannon and a rogue, and that I would kill him like everybody.
See, you always got to bring this up. Ronnie One Arm said I'm a loose cannon. I'm dangerous. Did I tell you I shot Johnny Gabbett and Judgy Grosso? I baseball batted Goofy and Mickey Mouse.
He yells if he wasn't nice to me, and that he admits he's a skipper. These are, again,
Admitting you're a skipper is being a rat.
yeah.
My captain took a fucking plea that his father.
He didn't have a captain. Captain Crunch was his captain, okay? He used to shoot up and inhale a half a fucking box of Captain Crunch in his tighty whities and then beat his wife.
Not to take that. He's supposed to be shelved. Supposed to be killed. You're the underboss of the family who was the boss forever, who really pulled all the shit.
Look at these losers lie and embellish.
Said, no, we're all going to trial together, we're all going to jail together.
Right.
Because Steve Senior is a man.
We're all going to get high together.
What are you kidding me, Pop? I'm not doing that. You gave me my button. You made me a captain. I didn't work for any of it, and I'm not doing time with you. And he took it.
Well, Ronnie, he made bad statements against me. He made bad statements against Vinny Asari. He made bad statements saying that I would kill
I
him.
heard he threw Vinny under the bus.
Yeah, well, and he said I would kill him.
He's not.
Once again, Elite has to throw. He can't go 2 minutes without talking about and boasting about people saying he's a killer. Hell, said I would kill him.
So
It's a little crazy.
these are all right statements, cooperative statements.
Listen, imagine the goal on these three to call anybody a rat. Wow.
And he actually put me and John Jr. together 14 times.
Gee, you can't go. Can't go 10 minutes without bringing the Gaudis up.
I was in the drug business in his opening statement. So,
Yeah.
we already understand that there's double standards. Guys are involved.
Because I mean, how are you getting shelved in this modern day? I would think,
Well,
go
first
fuck
of all,
yourself.
Alphonse, what's he going to do?
Right. I'm just
If
saying,
he
but like,
can't- if he can't use his position to get someone else to do something, Alphonse is going to eat that. Now, if they did that to a tough guy, you're going to deal with problems from that. You know what I mean? Like I would have never in a million years.
Exactly. Mob groupies, not pot. Exactly. They're groupies. These are groupies and wannabes. That's exactly what they were. Groupies and wannabes. Junkies and woman beaters, and he snatches purses.
As I said, have the respect for me to at least try to kill him.
He was a nice kid, actually. I know him since a baby. I mean, I don't know him as he became a
He
gangster.
told me he had 10 grand for me. I got home
and
from
to bring
jail.
him around.
Got home from jail, said, bring him around. He's going to be with me now.
Yeah.
And I saw this as my opportunity to get back to the Gambino.
Yeah.
And he said, I got the 10 grand for him. I said, Alphonse, do me a favor. I just got home. I'm going to spend the weekend with my kids.
And they got pissed.
And they got pissed the next day. And they got
But I'm going to tell you, Ronnie One Arm did exactly what your father did. He used his son. And Al's mother was a nice woman, really a good woman.
I'm surprised Felix's family lets him deal with these guys.
Mother, Al's. But the problem is, Ronnie wasn't capable of earning, and Al had a lot.
Felix's body language is disgusted by these guys, but he's in so deep. He's like, how do I get away from these scumbags?
The guys that made money, and Ronnie took him in through Al, and he ruined his son's life too. He should never put him in his life.
I don't think Felix is on drugs. I don't think he's a drug addict. Not at all.
He was a nice kid, and
I think he's just impressed and starstruck by Aleto and stuff like that.
A nice kid, educated kid. So, you got to look at the fathers and say, what kind of fucking man are you?
You know what
To
I'm
put
saying?
your son.
Look at this. What kind of father were you? Your son, I don't like bashing his kid or nothing, but his kid's in the can right now for shooting at somebody. What kind of father are you there, Leto? Huh?
He's in this life.
I'll say my father did try to keep me out. Originally, he did not want me doing this. He wanted me going to school. He wanted to play football, go to school. As soon as he saw that I was going to do it without him, he capitalized on it. When he saw that I was going with bananas, he said, you know what, I'm going to chase him from them, keep him around me, and use him.
Why do you think the kid Felix hasn't really done many streams with that?
This is a full
He's backing
3 months
out
of food
slow.
without needing.
He's trying to back out nice and slow. He should get away from this Elite guy. Elite's a scumbag. And remember, he's going on Pappy's channel tomorrow, supposedly.
When I can.
I personally think he's going to blow Pappy off, but he might be on Pappy's channel tomorrow.
Yeah, his original concept was for me not to be involved. I'd give him at least that. He's my father. I'll give him at least that.
You'll give him that. You wore a wire on the fucking guy.
Original did not want me in this. Once I got in on my own, it was off to the races.
Right. But
Press 1 if you think Aleto's going to show up on Pappy's channel. Press 2 if you think he's not going to show up. I think he's going to blow him off, personally.
I don't think Ronnie had that same.
No, I don't think. I know Ronnie.
And I don't know Al after that, honestly. I've seen him a couple of times, a handful of times. I know him as a baby. Later on, I heard different things, good and bad, about him. So, I don't really know what's happening. He actually was brother-in-laws with one of my cousins.
Looks like they got mostly 2s. Yeah, I think he's going to blow him off, too. Well, we got some 1s also there. Maybe he might show him. Who knows? Who knows? It will be funny. It will be interesting. And we will stream it on here, folks. We will stream it.
That I don't speak to.
And Pappy can go hit me with a copyright claim. I don't give a fuck.
Anymore, but they were brother-in-laws, and
I know his brother-in-law, Joey Augustinelli, right? His brother.
No, there's another one, Patsy. He ended up giving me.
I was in
up on
Rikers
him.
with Joey. He did like a little skit bit.
Yeah. So
He was a good kid. He was better than most of the wise guys in there.
How different are, because you worked with so many different families, for people who aren't familiar with how they work, how different is it working with each of those? Is it a different kind of power
Well, I'll
structure?
tell you what, you get with the Genovese, you're all right. Because whether you have a button or not, they treat you like you got it already. You get on record,
This guy doesn't know what he's
and you get
talking
treated
about.
Like you're a wise guy.
The FBI feed them this information.
First of all, most of the crews don't have any money, don't have any hustles. They go to work every day. They pay taxes.
Right.
The FBI feed them
They're
this
not- So you get put in
information.
the crew, and there's 8 guys not even chasing the nut. They're not even thinking about earning. That maybe once a year they'll give their skipper $1,000 for Christmas. I offered 60 grand a year to my father off a pill hustle that I had. I was consistently trying to advance and make more for myself and make myself
More dope.
in a position where I wouldn't have to be the one that gets sent anymore. That I could do the sending. You get put with a lot of these crews. It's a bunch of guys. They meet up once a week, play cards, drink espresso.
I'm going to drop my second channel because this channel is going to get taken down. I get flagged every day. So if you can sub to my second channel, go right ahead. I appreciate it.
And they act like they're wise guys, right?
Yeah. And how, for you now, even in jail and now, I mean, how is it thinking about, what your family kind of did to you, I guess? And is there still...
Wait, so oh my God, what your family did to you? Look what he did to his family. His needle and heroin and junkie abuse got his kids in DCYF. He beat his wife. He robbed his mother and tortured his mother. He wore a wire on his dad.
resentment, or do you still,
I resent what they did to my kids.
No self-accountability. It's what you did to. Who brought the heroin in your house? Your mother and father? No, you did, fat pig, fat boy. You did that, chubby. Tundra, parade float, hot air balloon.
I made my decisions in life. You know, I didn't know. I won't twist my arm. I did my own thing. I was never one of these guys who points the finger. It's because of him. It's because I roll with the punches. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. You know, I'm 40 years old.
You've been doing it the whole show, you fucking fat pig, you prick.
I avoided all this prison time, and I have a future ahead of me that I'm going to build for myself. I took control of it. So I'm not going to sit here. Does it bother me? It bothers me what they did to my kids.
Right now, this guy's curled up in a ball in his house shooting dope or withdrawing the fat pig. Link to I just dropped the link, Red Dog.
Do you feel like you're lucky that you're out at 40 years old? I mean, did you ever?
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I assume
Lucky's a stool pigeon. He lied. He didn't even it's not even like ratting on people. He lied on these guys. These men are in prison. He lied on them. He's a fucking rat liar.
I'd be spending my whole life in prison while I was doing these things. I figured, I would take hits in jail. When you're a gangster wherever you are. You could drop me in an article. I'll be a gangster.
He's not a gangster. He's a junkie.
Yes, you're not. Oh, I'm in jail now. Like, I used to see all these guys. Oh, what are you talking about? You lose your good time. You give me a bit, I know I'm maxing out on it. I'd be lucky if I don't catch you in the wall. I get phone calls from the street all the time.
Tough
this guy your friend, you want me to hit that kid? I have an
big tough guy. If you listen to these guys, they've killed hundreds of people. These guys are fucking clowns. These are rat stool pigeons who are glorifying the mafia after they put people in jail. Just disgusting.
Opportunity, I can get to him. Might not be able to get to the kid again, so I better do it. My friend needs to
listen to this guy.
If I consider you my friend, if
I consider you my friend, I'll give you half a bag of dope.
$1, you could have $1.50. I'll go borrow or steal for you.
As long as you let me use your needle, okay? You're gonna let me use your needle,
and that's how I am. Whatever it is,
look at Tonto. His head keeps bobbling. The bobblehead, fucking what a Cleveland Indians bobblehead over here.
Friends need on I do.
You feel like you're almost too loyal?
Yeah, I got kicked in the ass a lot.
Did you? You were too loyal. Did you feel that you were too loyal? What do you call loyal, Felix? Wearing a wire on your own father, then making up lies about guys you never met, the men he sent to prison he didn't even know.
I got another friend I'm friends with since kindergarten. Kid's a multi-millionaire.
Exactly, JP. If this guy's a gangster, you're a fucking astronaut. Exactly. The rats of the round table, Mike. Well said, Fleming.
Calls me from I took him to turn him into jail one day. I sent my wife to turn him in for a case. And he calls me up. We had kidnapped a couple of people. And,
we've kidnapped a couple of people. This guy is nuts.
His house found a bunch of shit. He calls me up one day. And I have a lot of love for his mother. She was, she worked in the school I went to in kindergarten. The woman used to pick me up so I could reach the water fountain. So
well, she must have been pretty strong to pick your little fat ass up, Tundra.
Can I mention his name? This kid consistently for 25 years of my life lied to me and used me.
He lied to you and used you for 25 years, and how are you his friend? Makes and
calls me up.
What was Aletto doing? Scratching his rear end over there? What the fuck?
On his desk phone. From the bullpen, they gave him the phone through the bars. He called my house number. I was just waking up. We dropped him off at 6 a.m. So hopefully at 11 we could go bail him out. I had about $180,000 in the courtroom to bail him out. I had $10,000 on 20 different people. And,
right. This guy is such a liar.
She calls me at 7 o'clock in the morning, an hour later. Oh, they're doing a lineup. Make sure the guy doesn't come to the lineup. On the sergeant's desk phone. I thought, wrong number. I'm sitting in a hot tub in my house, getting my day started. Next thing you know, it's an hour and a half later.
He's not sitting in a hot tub. He's sitting in a tank in SeaWorld. He's in the tank where they put Tillicum. Skinny razors. Showing my needles with the punks. What's up, Brooklyn? What's up, Cuban?
I got a guy at gunpoint in his bedroom. This other kid that used to sell drugs for us drove me, kidnapped the kid, drove back and forth on the highway with him for about an hour and a half to get his brother.
That was funny. Aletto removing the shaved gerbil from his keister.
Show up to the lineup. Now you'd think that would mean, you owe me one, right? So I go to jail. I tell him to handle an issue that I have in jail. And I know the kid wasn't a killer, so he wasn't going to do that. But
look, everything's about killing it. And look at Aleto. Anytime Aleto, a rat, a liar, is killing, look at the grin on his face. He loves it. He can't wait to get out of here and watch a snuff film.
Problems. Rich kid. Listen, go give someone 10, 20 grand. I want this guy in a wheelchair. Kid's walking fine right now. He's dancing on the weekend.
Look at this. Look at the smile on his face. Wheelchairs, breaking legs. Fucking idiot.
So you could tell me that he was getting no less than 12 years until I got the witness not to show up to court. So what is 12
I don't believe none of this. This is all fucking bullshit.
years of your life cost you? You know what I mean? It's a lot of money, right? So came home from jail. The kid gave me $5 grand. You know what I mean? So this is, yeah.
And you bought dope with it.
Over loyal to people.
Over loyal. He was over loyal to people, folks. Basically, this is the end of it. He was over loyal to people. Amazing. We just seen My Blue Heaven, the Rats of the Round Table. Cuban, no, I didn't. Was it good? Did they say they knew who I was and all that stuff again? Ridiculous. These fucks talk about rat. Yeah, I know. They're proud of it. They're sick. Elite perks up whenever he hears violence. Oh my God. No, I'm gonna shut it down. This is going too long. I'm gonna shut it down. Thank you very kindly for watching. Thanks for the guys who sent the super chats and the Cash App things. It's appreciated. Half the video was about this channel. They were drunk. Really? I gotta go watch it, Cuban. Were they saying they knew who I was like they did before? Yeah, I'm still at the lighthouse. Yes, Jamie. Listen, if they knew who I was, the name would be all over the chat. Trust me. Maybe he'll get his fucking stupid FBI handlers to do it. Who knows? But they can all go fuck themselves. You know what I mean? God bless everybody. Go slow. And all the rats, die slow, you fucking scumbags. La Fatengo.